young cats don't know, Jay. They ain't been checking for him.
You don't know who Marcus Dupree is?
I know who he is.
I know you do, but I'm saying, come on.
You know who he is. But some of these young cats, you know what I mean? They think football started with Pat Mahomes or something like that. You know what I mean? Before Emmitt Smith. Before who? What running back you want to name?
Thurman Thomas.
Before Thurman Thomas.
Before LaDainian Tomlinson. Marshall Faulk. Keep it going, Adrian
man.
Peterson.
There was Marcus Dupree. This guy was a high school stud, a stud at Oklahoma, had a 30 for 30 made about him. He's going to be joining us coming up at 3:30. Coming up at 3 o'clock. Also, I want to get into the point guard situation for the Sacramento Kings because John Hollinger, he came out with an article earlier today, NBA Free Agency 2025. James Harden, Kyrie Irving lead strong point guard class. So should our guy Scott Perry be targeting some of these guys on John Hollinger's list? That's coming up at 3 o'clock. But first, Jay, we guys talk about what happened last night. I don't know if you watched that NBA Finals game. Another tremendous game. Let's call it what it is. It's been a hell of a series. The games have been competitive, really no blowouts. But OKC got it done last night, 120-109 over the Indiana Pacers. And I want to give OKC some love before I talk about Tyrese Haliburton. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night, 31 points, 10 assists, 13 of 14 from the free throw line. But his running mate, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, he looked like James Worthy out there last night, dropping 40 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, all while shooting 56% from the field as the Thunder moved to within one game of winning the NBA championship. And the big question today is this series over? And I'm here to tell you, Sacktown sports fans, it is finished. No mas. The Pacers are about to tap out. Not because they're not a worthy opponent, not because they don't have the heart and the desire, but they just can't match OKC right now. Tyrese Haliburton, Jay, the news came out today. He's dealing with a right calf strain, questionable for not even tomorrow's game, Thursday's game, Thursday's game. Here's the thing. Without a healthy Tyrese Haliburton, I don't care how great TJ McConnell looked last night, the Pacers, in my opinion, have no chance.
It's tough to say, but it's over. It's over.
Okay, all right.
It is over, Drake. Just spot on. I was looking at the game, checking out the game last night. It was close in the beginning of the fourth quarter. About mid-fourth quarter is when OKC kind of hit the gas pedal on ring. Because remember, Philadelphia, Indianapolis had to run early in the fourth quarter to bring them close to two, right? Pascal Siakam hit the 3, and they were down by 2. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe J-Dub came down and hit another 3, and that pushed it back to 5. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's over, and I'm going to continuously go back to what I said yesterday. Game 4 with 4 minutes on the clock, to me, that was the series. Last night wasn't the nail in the coffin, obviously, because you still have a little fight, still got a little bit of something left, Drake. Right. But I'm with you, especially now that Ty Haliburton is hobbled. I'm just not sure how the Pacers can win 2 games in a row over SGA and his band of merry men. It's over. You're right.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and Tyrese is our guy.
I say that and watch him win 2 games.
Right. They do have the heart, a never say die attitude. But when you look at Tyrese Haliburton, 34 minutes, 0 for 6, 4 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. I'm listening to Stephen A. Smith. I'm listening to Big Perk. I'm listening to these national guys take shots at Tyrese Haliburton. And as clear as day, the dude ain't 100%. Now, should he have sat down? Should Rick Carlisle have sat him down? Perhaps. But, and we could talk about sports media and sports talk here in a second, but what people are doing to this young fella, and I'm talking about Tyrese Haliburton, it's comical. It's ridiculous. I'm seeing people run the social media, and I'm talking about former NBA players. I'm talking about national talking heads saying, see, he's not a superstar. He's a clutch player, but he ain't no super. The dude is freaking hurt. The dude is hurt. And what happens too often when it comes to sports media, Jay, One day you the greatest thing since sliced bread. You have a bad game. This dude ain't that. You the one that built him up. You the one that put him on the pedestal. You the one that had him. We had the discussion on here. I take him third best point guard in the league and everything like that. But unlike those national guys, unlike those former players, we not coming on here on the drive, guys, and saying, he ain't delivering. Tyrese Haliburton, he ain't all he cracked up to be. It's disgusting what's happening regarding the conversation regarding this young all-star player. Because here's the thing, Jay. You're an athlete. I've played sports. I could tell you exactly how this Tyrese Haliburton situation went yesterday. Tyrese Haliburton, in Game 5 of the finals, dealing with the calf strain, he's like, I got to play through it. I got to be there for my team. It's the finals. If I can walk, he said it. If I can walk, I'm going to play. All admirable. But you know what, Jay? Sometimes the coach got to say, you know what? You can't go. It's criminal that he played 34 minutes on a calf strain, which could develop into something else. We've seen it happen with athletes before, Kevin Durant most notably. And so, to me, the issue isn't Tyrese Haliburton, 0 for 6, 4 points, whatever it is. Should Rick Carlisle have made the decision to not only do what's best for Tyrese Haliburton, but also in that moment what's best for the team? Sometimes the coach has to rescue the player from himself. And I understand, Rick Carlisle, you're going to ride with your superstar, but sometimes your superstar can't give it a go. TJ McConnell was rocking out yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah, he was balling like 2001 Allen Iverson out there.
Slow down now, Drace. Come on, baby. You must have played a good round of golf coming into the studio today.
Dude, 18 points, 8 of 14 in 22
like
minutes.
Iverson? Dang.
The only thing he didn't do was the step over.
True.
Right. No, he was. But here's the thing, Jay. I get it. You go back to your guy. As great as TJ McConnell was, you go back if your guy's 100% healthy, if he can go. Tyrese Haliburton, and they said it on ESPN today, I think it was Windhorse, he was a glorified ball mover. He was just passing the rock. He wasn't getting into the lane looking to finish. He really wasn't jacking up any threes. He was not being aggressive because his bum right calf wouldn't allow him to be. And as brilliant of a coach as Rick Carlisle is, shout out my guy Rick Carlisle. He's a fan of Drapes here. I thought he botched that one late. And they might not have won. I'm not saying TJ McConnell was the difference or anything like that. If they played TJ, they win. But the Thunder really didn't even have to guard Tyrese. They could see the calf was an issue. And so I'm listening to Stephen A. Smith halftime. Did you hear what he said halftime?
I did.
Talking about it's a good thing he's hurt because don't get me started on these dudes.
I got you, man. You've talked about it, tirelessly, and you've talked about it, I should say, constructively too. You've definitely approached it in many different forms and fashions, and I think you've even you've even handled yourself correctly when it comes to the national media in many different narratives. I know. Just small bits and conversations. I know that you would rather say some other things, but I think you've been very professional the way that you handle it. The NBA, and this is a question, and I was thinking about this driving in. I said, I didn't send this to Drapes earlier today because I was going through something which we got to talk about. Like, ooh. I have a huge issue that I'm upset about today, but I forgot to text you the topic. Is the NBA circle, media, national, local, beat writers, whatever you want to call them, we have great people who cover the sport, yes. No doubt about it. But is the NBA media the worst media operating right now in the form of it is a wild, wild west when it comes to the NBA media. You don't see that when it comes to the NFL and baseball. So I wanted to have that conversation today, but I'm with you. I do think this series is definitely over, and Ty Haliburton, as much as some people in the media is going to have a conversation of, he lost it and he didn't show up when need be. I think we all have come to the understanding that he's been hurt. He has definitely been hobbled throughout the series. And as much as we know he tweaked it, I believe second series, was it the Knicks series or was the series before?
Might have been Knicks.
Yeah. It's kind of progressively gotten worse. And then last game, 2 games ago now, when he tweaked it again, you could just definitely see that he doesn't have it. He's not 100%, and he's doing whatever he can. And I'm with him, because this the one thing about that, Drapes, is you never know if you're getting back to the NBA Finals. No matter if you're early in your career, middle, or the end. I'm going out there and giving everything that I possibly have. And as an athlete, you definitely know the limitations of your body, but I definitely think you push yourself to another level when it comes to the finals. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to give everything I possibly got, because I'm playing in the world's greatest competition for my sport. I'm going to try. I'm going to give everything that I have 100%, whatever it is, 110%. And it may not be the best me, but one thing I know is I'm going to go out swinging. And I think that's what Ty Haliburton is doing.
Right. Exactly. And, but here's the question too, Jay, and I like your topic about, NBA media, and maybe we'll do that at the bottom of the hour, because I would love for our listeners to weigh in on that. 916-339-1140 is NBA media. How'd you phrase it, Jay? The worst of it? Or
I hadn't come up with it, and that's what I said it was my fault, because I needed to phrase it a better way, because worse just makes it sound like, oh, there's nobody doing a great job. No, there are thousands, hundreds, I should say, beat writers, analysts, reporters, whatever you do in the NBA, and there's probably thousands at this point. There's some great people who handle, we have tons of people who come on the show who do great jobs, but is the NBA media the cesspool of of the big 3 or 4 sports?
Right. And we could talk, because when you talk NBA media, and we'll talk about the face of the NBA coming up, but how about the face of NBA media? You know what I mean? TNT, those guys, the national guys, ESPN. Maybe we should, stick to that, because like you said, a lot of local guys are doing their jobs. Or maybe now.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, though, Drapes. And I know you have to be careful, and I do too, because we have a bunch of friends in the game. There's something over the last couple of years for me in the NBA media where it's just like it's a free-for-all. There's no hierarchy. And that's cool, because I'm all right with disrupting, the program, so to say, right? I'm okay with disrupting the machine, but it's every single day you waking up and it's like, man, who is this? And what are they talking about? And how are they getting this information?
Yeah.
And I know that because sometimes there's a lot of people that names who are in the news, and I text them. I'm like, what?
Right.
And they're like, bro, I have no clue what the hell they're talking about. I'm sitting over here in Greece with my family. I just talked to the GM. I just talked to the coach. Matter of fact, assistant coaches over here right now. We're getting in some workouts starting next week. Like, you have those conversations as well, Drapes.
Yep.
And it kills me, because I'm like, well, what is this dude talking about? And I understand it. I come from the world of entertainment. So no one can get up here and say, well, Jay, this is how. No, I come from reality show world. I've been in those meetings. I come from the world of music. I understand, drawing for impressions and downloads and clickbait and all that type of stuff. I get it. When the way we measure our radio ratings now, I was on one of the first boards that created PPM. So I get some of those things that happen, but I get some of the reason why people put those, just naysay out there. But man, it has truly become Wild Wild West, man.
It has, and I think, and we'll talk about that. I think that's a great topic, because the more listening to you, you're right. Whether it's local, online, national,
good luck.
It's a mess right now.
Good luck.
It's a mess right now.
And I venture to say Drapes, and that's why I asked this question, and we could weave it through. The NBA circle, the NBA media, I think has an issue. Truly does. When you look at baseball, you don't really have that issue. There's hierarchy. We know who's who does what. And I'm not saying, people aren't spreading erroneous things around there, but at the same time, you see way more in the NBA. You look at the NFL, there's a hierarchy.
The question, I guess, and I want to save this though, Jay. I don't want to dive into it quite just yet. It might be next segment because I got a lot to get off my chest.
I even got something extra on top of that too.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Why are you saving this though? Why you don't? Dog, we've been texting all day.
Because I told you I've been pulled away today, man. Let me get this off my chest real quick.
The whole show.
You did, man.
And none of this was in there.
Let me tell you real fast. Shouts out to all my tech people. Because I need a little bit of assistance. So this week, me and Drapes are like, we're going to go a different path on certain things.
Yep.
Most people, around here, people teach me, I have 2 phones, right? I have one business phone, one personal phone. Yeah. For the people who are married, who have significant others, let's just say the reason why. Not doing anything wrong, but years ago, things happen. People call you random times and you get questioned. Like, I'm not getting questioned.
Right.
No
I'm not getting.
Right. I'm not doing this no more. Especially in music, people call you 3 a.m. in the studio, and you're like, "What, man? What's wrong with you? I got a kid and a wife." Second part of that is so I'm going through my phone and I realize, Drapes, my business phone. I'm like, dude, I ain't got a lot of rappers' numbers in here no more. I got tons and tons of sports stuff people, and family, and just crazy stuff. Like, man, I gotta hit the Rolodex. For the young people, the address book. I had to go back and get one of my older phones. Damn. So I got a couple old phones that I always keep around. Okay. I've done a bad job, and this is the problem. I have a master directory that I keep on my computer. Okay. An Excel sheet. Yeah. But I have a bad problem of updating that. Right. Because it's just too much. It's too much. Yeah. Right? So Drapes, I go back to the old phone, which I always call, this is the rapper phone, because that's when I was on tours and all that stuff. And I got so many numbers. Plug the phone up. Like, all right, it's good. Screen doesn't come on. The phone is on. The power is on, but the screen isn't coming on. It's just dead black. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, tech guy, plug it up to the computer, trying to find the contact list, pull it over to the computer. Contact list is saying nothing's on there. I'm going through. I see go to the camera, see the photos, I got all that stuff, videos, cameras. So I know it's on there, but for whatever reason, I can't access my contact list. So I'm calling out Sacramento and the people listening. I need some assistance. 916-339-1140. No better place than get it done than right here on the drive, guys. I need some assistance of getting my contacts off this phone. This is a Samsung, I think 4.
I was wondering, dude. Yeah. What kind of phone do you?
This is the Galaxy. Nah, this is the Galaxy S4.
Is that the new?
No. This is the S4. We're like 23 now. 25.
Are we really? Oh, so you need to get them off the S4.
Off the S4. So this got to be about 2015ish. I had this phone. I need to get the contacts off. I care less about the camera. I mean, the photos and the videos. All that. Yeah. It is what it is. But the contacts, I got some contacts I just can't find. Okay. Drapes, I'm going through. I'm like, let me hit Ghostface.
Ghostface who?
Ghostface Killer. Come on, man.
Get out of here.
I'm like,
no Ghostface.
Oh, I ain't got his number in his phone.
Jay, you killing me, bro.
I say, let me go, because Wu-Tang is here next week.
Wu-Tang, we gonna be in the building.
I'm going through. I'm like, let me hit the Jizza. Oh, I ain't got the Jizza number in this. Let me hit Inspector. I ain't got no.
What?
Dude, I can't find nobody's number right now.
We need to get on that. Somebody got to help my boy Jay out.
Dude, you said yo. I'm looking through. I'm like, where's Miss Yo? Can't find her. Can't find her number. Man, I didn't put it together. Michelle. So now I'm like, I gotta text a couple people, and you know how it goes. Hey, give me Michelle number. Oh, hold on, let me find it. Now I'm waiting on these people.
On them. Yeah.
So I'm upset, Drapes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm not in a good mood today.
So how many phones you carrying today with you?
I got the third one right here with me. right here with
you
me.
You got 2 and a possible. Impossible. That's what you got right now.
Literally, I'm on a strained calf muscle.
Wow,
like Haliburton.
You questionable.
I got it literally right here. Somebody help me out. How can I get it off to get these contacts? Man, I got some great numbers on there.
Really?
I just can't find it.
We gotta get my man straightened out. 916-339-1140. If you can help Jay out, you can text us, you can go on to YouTube, or you can call us up. But, and with next segment, we'll talk about NBA sports media, because I've been wanting to get this on my chest here a lot lately. And so our boy Ward real quick says, was this phone connected to a Google account at all?
I'm not sure at the time. I'll have to triple check, but I thought about that because I have a Google account. I actually have one of my phones is a Google Pixel. It's the Google Pixel 9. So I have a Google. But I can't remember, man.
So hold up.
But I got the same email from then.
Let me get this straight.
For sure.
You got a Samsung.
I got it.
The old one.
Yeah. I was a Samsung
Google
guy.
Pixel now.
Well, I was a Samsung guy.
And an iPhone now too?
Why? Okay, here we go.
You're crazy, Jay.
All right. So we got to take it all the way back now. I was a Sidekick guy. T-Mobile Sidekick,
oh, yeah,
right? I've been with T-Mobile for a long time. Met my wife. She had Verizon. So I'm like, all right, cool. No problem. Let's figure it out. We figure it out. At that time, call it 2017, 2016, 2015, whatever. Like I said, Drake, you know how this goes, Drake. Yeah. When you're on the road, when you're moving and grooving, there's so many different time zones that I deal with as a producer and booking and trying to figure it out. We just talking about Chuck D being over in Europe and all that. It's ridiculous, right? And so I got an iPhone because for the most part after the berries, iPhone is like the business phone. Pretty much most people have iPhone,
right?
For the most part. Yeah. So when you text, now this is really dating myself. Back when I started in radio, people had aliases. A player would have an alias at the hotel room.
Right.
Text iPhones show blue, of course, versus green.
Yep.
So we were still using a lot of landlines, hotels, things like that. So by the time iPhones start rolling around, I got an iPhone because when I text you, I want to know if that was your cell phone or if that was a hard line.
Ooh.
So that's the reason I got an iPhone.
Okay.
But I always kept Samsung. Now, I had the 24 up until this year. My wife bought me the Pixel this time. So that's the first time I've ever had a phone outside of the Samsung that wasn't a business phone.
Which one you like the best?
I'm an Android guy.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's way better than iPhones.
Tell me why. Because I've been an iPhone guy. I had the BlackBerry, but you know how it is. You text somebody and they come up green, and you're like,
you're iPhone guy.
Old school.
You're a Mac person.
Yeah. Like, so tell me real quick, Jay. What's the?
Because Mac has been far and beyond in front of what Apple is putting out. Apple people argue you because it's super simple and they're comfortable and they're used to using it, which is no problem. You don't see Android people argue Mac people. You see Mac people argue Android people. And it's always, it's kind of like, you're beneath this type stuff. But Android been putting out technology. Apple been falling in line for years.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Android's always in front of Apple. No doubt about it. When you talk to most tech people, you talk to, the who's who of tech, they don't use Apple, man. They use Android, some version of it. Linux. When you really get into like IT folk, and please, if someone wants to, they could correct me if I'm wrong. Most people like, man, Apple's elementary.
But what about Apple Pay and all that? That's the ease of use.
It's the same thing. What, you don't think we ain't got that too?
What you got? Google Pay or something?
Yeah, but Samsung has it. All these different things that Apple has, they 2-3 years behind.
Get out of here.
Come on, man. People,
hey, come on, man.
The one thing Apple has is their camera.
Their
camera's fantastic. No doubt about it. People literally shoot movies on it.
Yeah.
Now that I can't argue. But like editing and all that type of stuff, man, people don't use Mac. Stop it. Come on, man. GarageBand, get up out of here. Come on, man.
I used GarageBand in like 8 years, man. Come on now.
Come on, man. You stop. Folks be arguing about, man, man, you don't know nothing about Android
Make
and
beats
all
up
this.
on there, baby.
Come on,
GarageBand, make them beats.
Yeah, get out of here, man. Fruity Loop. Like the one thing at one point in time Apple had above Android was it was very compatible to Pro Tools. That's gone and out
That's
the
gone
window
now too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll talk more about that coming up.
And for DJs, Serato, which is the app, the program that is used to DJ for the most part. Now, that's like the industry standard. That is more pro Mac than Android laptop. But beyond that, Mac is way behind what Android does, man.
Okay. All right.
And then they drop it. It's like, oh, look, man, Apple did this. It's like, dude, Google was doing that 5 years ago. Stop it. But you can't argue a Mac person.
You can't.
It's like arguing NBA people.
But the last thing I'm going to say on this segment, because we got to get to break, is when I text somebody and I see the blue.
Because you're snob.
No, I see the blue. It's like cool blue. It's relaxing. It's refreshing. It's like,
now, see, you're
you
Mac
text
snob.
somebody and it comes up green.
Yeah.
You're like, is this even the real person? Somebody hacked their phone.
See what I'm saying?
Like, is my service okay or something like that? Is the Wi-Fi the service off or something like that?
Android does all of that. If I text you, my wife has an Apple. She's a Mac person. I text from this phone all the time because it's personal. They show two circles, like bubbles type situation. We've been doing everything that Mac has been doing for years.
Okay.
People are just Mac snobs.
Okay. All right, more with that coming up. But we got to dive into the NBA sports media. Is it the dregs of sports media? Is it the bottom of the bottom? Is it the lowest of the low? We want to hear from you. 916-339-1140. It's The Drive, guys, here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh, my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports injury update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Zach Geloff, still out with that stress reaction in his ribs, joined the A's on the road in Anaheim last week to continue his rehab progression and is expected to begin a minor league rehab assignment this week. Gio Urshela, out with that left hamstring strain, joined AAA Las Vegas for a rehab assignment last week and is expected to begin playing this week as well. This injury update was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with a special guest, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPfest.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now through June 22nd at Big O Tires, buy 3 tires, get 1 free on 4 select Big O brand tires. And every set is backed by our industry-leading ProTech Plus protection warranty. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra, not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metal woods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Employee Pricing Plus sales events.
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus. You can only get here. Save up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. One of the many reasons we are the #1 Ram truck dealer in California.
Well, why do you think Hoblet's consistently California's #1 Ram truck dealer?
You won't find a better price on the Ram truck you need. And with 500 new Rams available, no one has a better selection. Plus, being a 5th-generation family-owned dealer, you get the big city selection and savings with the small-town service, and we have 7 Walter P. Chrysler Service Awards to prove it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie after 6,000 factory rebates and 10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Employee pricing factored into dealer discount. 5% net savings. Sample VIN 711632. See dealer for details.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Traipse and Jay here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports at 11:40, coming up at 3:30. The great Marcus Dupree will be joining us right now in San Francisco. The Rafael Devers press conference is underway as the organization, the Giants, introduced Devers, who they got in a 5-player deal from the Red Sox. Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, and Jose Bello all going back to Boston. Maybe we'll try to effort some of that coming up in just a little bit, Jay. Before we get to NBA sports media, you making people mad, bro. You making enemies out there,
of course,
Jay.
I told you I'm on one today.
Okay.
I'm taking all Mac comers.
I'll say this, though, Jay. And I ain't going to read some of the stuff that's on the
Read
text
it.
line. I don't want to read it.
I ain't running from none of that.
I ain't going to read it. But to the 530's defense, I feel like Android people.
Upset. That person is upset. I'm with it. I'm on any corner, anytime, too.
I feel like Android people always feel like they got the inside source. Like they know something we don't. Like, we're not as smart. iPhone users not as smart as Android users.
Opposite?
It's like, I don't know,
And
man.
aren't we more few and far in between than Mac users?
No, 100%.
Okay.
And I feel like Android users are probably stuck in 2005, 2015. That's
but this the difference. Android users be like, who cares, man? I ain't tripping.
Okay.
Let me do me.
Right.
You get people like the 530. People like you are annoying AF, honestly. No, you are big time. You're the one that's upset. Who gives a what phone someone uses? I don't. You do. Most Mac people are the ones who are checking for what phone you have, which is the common goal is this all the time. Excuse me. The common issue with the Mac folks all the time is this. Well, when I text you, I get green. You just said it.
Of course.
No, when's the last time you've ran into a person using an Android like, oh man, you know what? When I text you, it didn't come back.
No, but here's the thing.
Mac people say that.
Because when it comes to the iPhone, we get blue and green. When I text Android people, it's always green because that's all they got. They ain't got options like we do.
We do got options. If I go Android to Android, I got a different option.
What is it?
I just told you. It gives me bubbles. It has a certain color as well.
Okay. All right.
Mac folks, man, y'all be ready to fire up, bro. I don't care about your phone. Y'all praying to folks that's using y'all upgrade to the same stuff all the time. and then and swear y'all using the same stuff that y'all been using 15 years ago, and y'all swear by it. Ain't that new? What they didn't give you? What have they given you that's new?
I'm with you on the every year release,
Come on,
and we
man,
got it. You got
stop.
to. It didn't. I don't know if Android does this, but they changed the power cord and everything.
Because y'all sheep.
That's killing me,
Y'all
bro.
the sheep. Y'all the sheep of phone users, man. And you get people who be super like this person from the 530. He want me to explain tech and all. You explain, big time. You call 916-339-1140. Since you cracking codes over at the at the Pentagon with your Mac, big time. Why don't you call?
Well, you call it iOS. That's their system, Jay. Get it correct. Get it correct. iOS.
Ain't nobody worry about that.
Somebody from the
iOS.
209. Androids are for folks with capital zero swag.
That's fine. Okay. The difference of it is when you talk to somebody from Android, we ain't sweating y'all. You say anything bad about a Mac user, man, they ready to pull out on you. It's a problem. They get defensive. Smoke is in the air. Man, when I text you, you can't even see. I can't even see if you got the blue.
Y'all might not even get the same pictures. Like I can't
We
even
do.
share pictures.
100%.
In group text and
100%. See that? See, that's the game. People are, well, when I send you, it looks like Atari. It looked like Tetris was being played. Not anymore, champ.
Oh man, you can't.
I get it nice and smooth. Wife, daughter, they send it to me. My stuff gleaming, look like Whitey Gleason's picture. Go check him out on Twitter or Hawaii.
All right.
Look like a brand new look like Sinners 2.
Man, I tell you what, whoever on the
8K,
530,
red camera.
Jay, and you have invited the 530, you know,
Please.
the last two, number 72, to call up.
Please.
916-339-1140.
Anytime.
We always got the phone lines open for people.
Have we ever ran?
Nope.
Please.
Not at all.
Come on, man. You're a sheep. You're a sheep, big time.
I do want to switch back, though, because this is sports talk that I want to hit. With sports media, and specifically NBA sports media, Jay raised a question in our first segment. Is the NBA sports media, calm down, man, calm down. Is NBA sports media the dregs of media? And here's what I'm going to say about that, Jay. Because there was a discussion a few years ago whether NBA media does enough to stick up for the game. Like, you never hear NFL, MLB taking the amount of shots at their stars that the NBA does.
Never.
And I'll be honest, I've reached a point with NBA sports media and just NBA discussion in general. It's gotten so bad, Jay, I can't listen to it anymore.
Nah, you listen to the NBA radio. You listen to Eddie
A
J.
little bit. Yeah, I guess.
Antonio Daniels.
Because
Come on,
those guys do a good job. They're not talking about who's the GOAT or Haliburton's legacy or any LeBron got to win championships. And we're going to get into this with our special guest host tomorrow, High Flyer. Henry Turner will be joining me Wednesday and Friday because LeBron had an interesting clip about rings culture. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But I feel like NBA sports media, and Ramsey made a good point on, I think it was Ramsey, on the text line, 916-339-1140. He said, in general, NBA media wants to be first, but not correct with the news being dropped. Here's the problem with NBA media.
That's church.
NBA media serves themselves. You're in it for yourself. MLB media is in it for the love of the game. When they talk about something, it's about the game. When NBA media talks about it, it's to amplify themselves, go viral, get clicks. NFL media, and maybe a little bit, but when I look at, and Awful Announcing got a great story on their website that I pulled up here.
How long ago was it?
They came out, there's one today about Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins' criticism of injured Tyrese Haliburton, proving NBA stars can't win. But also 3 days ago, ESPN's talking heads have made the NBA Finals about themselves. I feel like the people who cover the NBA, not everybody, some, even some here locally, Jay, put things out just to boost their following, just to boost their Twitter count, just to boost their retweets. I don't feel that in other forms of sports media.
Yeah, how about I say it to you like this? Call back 530. I do have a job. I got to work.
Oh, they called?
Like,
they called, he said? Okay.
They call. I put them on hold. I put people on hold when I'm talking. Common sense. See what I'm saying? Mac users, bro. They just, man, can't even comprehend certain things. For me, and I was going to ask you this is, I think NBA media have become celebrities themselves more than any other sports. And I think that's what you're saying in a certain form is they have become the who's who now. And Stephen A. Smith, one of my guys, he worked with him over at Fox. Stephen A. gets flambasted because the way he walks into an arena.
Yeah.
The sauce that he walks with, as people, Mac users say swag, which is old. The sauce that people walk in, right? That he walks in with. And so it's interesting because in a lot of NBA media are getting paid like these athletes. $100 million?
Yeah.
That's a tremendous amount of money for someone to get to talk sports. Please get it though. You're worth what a person to pay you, right? Second part of it is they have now become bigger than the news because they are celebrities. This is the thing, Drapes. When you came along, you're a little older than I am. Even when I came along, getting an athlete or getting a celebrity was the end. That was the hot topic to do. Now we see research. People care more about the beat writer. They care more about the reporter, the analyst, the insider, so to say, than even getting it from the athlete because it's more juicy, it's more gossip, it's more TMZ-ish, it's more shade room-ish. And so those things bring more clicks than the athlete. And now we've started to see as of late, handful of years where athletes are like, man, this is getting out of hand. Watch us
put the message out.
Come on now.
Right.
Podcasting is at an all-time high from athletes as well.
But Jay, why is it the NBA though? Like I'll call it like I see it, Jay. I'm gonna call it NBA media craps on its sport more than any other sports media. You don't hear hockey media. You don't hear baseball media, on their stars. Think about it. The narrative for the NBA Finals isn't Pacers, OKC, first championship. It's if this guy loses, what's his legacy? What does it do? Tyrese loses. Shea comes up short. We're not saying that regarding my boy Jalen Hurts and Pat Mahomes.
Nah, hell no.
Like it's frustrating because, and I said it yesterday, you got a lot of people talking about the NBA that don't know what the hell they're talking about. 916 says, everyone always raves about inside the NBA. Those are the clowns that talk crap about the players. I quit watching them years ago. Jeff said that. And here's the thing, Jeff. I believe inside the NBA jumped the shark a few years ago. Meaning they started to believe their own like they're bigger than the actual game. And that's the issue. And Stephen A. Smith is your guy. He's not my guy.
Yeah,
I can't vibe with him because he, the other day, openly challenged Tyrese Haliburton.
He did.
He's like, I done faced some of the, he done challenged LeBron James. Dude, you cover the sport or used to or supposed to. The problem is, and I'll call it like I see it, Jay. the people who cover the sport want to become the celebrities.
They are not
Right.
want to be.
Okay.
They are becoming those. Like Stephen A. Smith is a super celebrity at this point, is he not?
Right.
I mean, this dude is on news channels. He's got his own network almost pretty much at this point. Like he even talked about it today. Man, I not only do I have this show, but I got ESPN, I got Sports Center, I got my own show. I'm doing a news show now, a crossover radio show. He is a celebrity.
But
No
Jay,
doubt about it, he is.
But Jay, dude, and maybe this is society because we sort of created this monster. But there comes a point where it's too much. And you're right. When he walks in with the swag and everything, when he challenges a player, dog, you done got too big for your britches. Far as I'm concerned, that's to quote old school people. And the thing about it, Jay,
Mac users,
people look at Stephen A. Smith and say, I want to be like him. So
yes.
Let me tweet.
Yep.
Let me deliver the hot take. So he's created a legion of, it's not about journalism anymore. It's about how many retweets, how much engagement you can get nowadays. That's the problem I have. And that's the problem what I'm sure our players have too.
No, I agree. I truly believe, and I don't want to say social network is completely, the reason why media has become celebrities, but it definitely plays a part in it. No doubt about it. Like the way social network has bubbled up to allow, people to make good livings and become celebrities and, support their family. Shouts out to it. But as good as it has become, it has created an avenue for, this is why I said it. I truly believe the NBA does not handle it that well. It's not even like when you really look at, and I think you put it properly. Baseball, you kind of do it for the love of the game, right? The second part of it is the NFL is king,
right?
And so
the game is always going
it's always going to be bigger than the people,
right?
The NBA is, and this was part of the conversation yesterday, like when we were talking about shoes. The NBA has its own type of culture. Sports has a different type of culture now than it ever has. But the NBA definitely stands alone. And I think if you look at the bigger, like you look at sports media as in a whole, basketball probably has the most star leading type media. And if they've crossed over, like Stephen A has crossed over, but I think the NBA has created more celebrity media than NFL or baseball. Like you look at baseball, Jason Stark, Keith Law, Jeff Passan, Tim Kirchin, Ken Rosenthal, JP Morosi.
Yeah.
Like there is kind of a set standard on that. Same thing with the NFL. You look at the NFL, it's Rappaport, Garofalo, Florio.
Yep.
So Jeremy Fowler, like there's a certain hierarchy to it. Jonathan Jones, but the NBA, man, we got the Kevin Durant whisperer. We've got LeBron whisperer. Yeah. We've got people who have created their lane, and albeit shouts out to them.
Yeah.
Because it helps them support their family. But it has become a wild, wild west.
Right. The thing about it, Jay, I'll say NBA media and mostly the talking heads. I mean, because there's a lot of good people, that our boy Tony Jones,
Vincent
Goodwill.
There's great people
that actually cover it. But I'm talking about the faces of NBA sports media. They do more disservice to their sport than any other sport. Meaning, you don't hear Bradshaw and those guys on their pregame show, you know, talking about a GOAT debate or anything like that.
That's a great point.
Like, how can you know,
yeah,
like,
that's a great point.
And so I believe it's sort of a trickle down effect from the national talking heads. And I'm talking ESPN, their pre and post game show, NBA Today, their marquee show,
right,
and TNT Turner. I think there's a trickle down effect from them to the local media, to the social media. They sort of set the discourse, if you will, and then it becomes viral, Stephen A. Smith says.
So they set the standard?
They set the standard. That's why I love Tim Legler.
Right.
When Tim Legler's on, breaking
X's
down the
O's.
game, X's and O's.
Yeah.
He ain't got it. Ain't no hot takes. He ain't trying to go viral. He's talking the game of basketball. And so when I look at NBA sports media, if you will, the issue is I feel like the NBA sort of embraced it, made a deal with the devil to become a year-round sport. The silly season, the trade rumors, and everything. The NBA embraced that, dove into that. And now,
but Drake's real fast, not to cut you off, you kind of need that to compete against the NFL, don't you?
Yeah, I hear you. But
because as much as I love baseball, baseball is falling far and far beyond 1 and 2. When it comes to, mainstream media, I'll say. Not to sports people like us, but mainstream media. The NBA has to compete against the NFL.
But the deal with the devil that they made, and I 100% hear you and understand that, Jay, a byproduct of that is instead of focusing on the great NBA finals, it's all about where Giannis and Kevin Durant are going to go.
Yeah.
During the Super Bowl, we ain't talking about nothing but the Super Bowl. That's
for
it.
2 weeks,
For 2 weeks. For
real
2
talk,
weeks.
Real talk.
But when it comes to the NBA, we got the NBA. And I'm going to give Adam Silver some crap because the schedule is jacked up. How the hell we not playing another game till Thursday? Why ain't a game tomorrow? OKC and Indy ain't that far, Jay.
Because you're stretching it out, Drapes.
It's ridiculous.
You got to stretch it out to get that money. It's part of the game.
The NBA is messing
What about
up.
this one? I think Jeff has some validity. I think ex-players are bitter about all the money the newbies make.
I agree.
Jeff from the 916.
Jeff, I agree with you because what you're seeing when it comes to some of the older players, I made $2 million and played 82 games. This guy's making $60 million and only. So the money, I think, does piss off some of these guys. They're like, I laid it all on the line for $2 million and you making $60 million. But what I think the older players don't understand is that today's players understand their value and the power that they have.
Yeah.
40 years ago, the players needed the NBA. Now these players are saying the NBA needs me.
Yeah.
They need us.
So the negative connotation for you coming from analysts, media, the NBA media, I should say, that is where you really, as being part of the NBA media, that is what kind of irks you is, why are we consistently tearing down our own sport, our own product?
Stars, Jay. We tearing down our stars.
You'll never hear that from NFL Network.
Right.
Man, them dudes, they have a pink slip.
That's what I'm saying.
Waiting.
We are tearing down our stars. And I can't wait to get High Flyer in here tomorrow because LeBron James talks about the ring culture and how, guys that didn't win a championship, they're viewed as less. We've created this more so than baseball ain't no ring culture. Guys ain't chasing rings. Football guys ain't chasing rings, maybe at the end of their career. But Josh Allen been one of the top 3 quarterbacks, and Joe Burrow been one of the top 5 quarterbacks. And nobody's talking Lamar Jackson. And there's not a whole lot of, this guy's a failure. He'll never be the GOAT and all. Like, it's ridiculous, Jay. We got to take a break, man. Dude, you got me in a bad mood.
I told you I'm in a bad mood.
916-339-1140. That's your way to talk and contribute to this conversation. Coming up next, John Hollinger, he released his NBA free agency point guard tiers. And I want to know if any of these guys intrigue you. It's Drapes and Jay. It's the Drive Guy, Sacktown Sports 1140.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our Giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the latest class of the A's Hall of Fame will be inducted before the A's play the Reds on September 13th. And what a group, including longtime A's broadcaster Monty Moore and the big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. And when those guys pitch together in the A's rotation over a 5-year span, their combined records, 234 and 119. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents it's local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Drapes and Jay back here on The Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Kevin Whitey Gleason. He's out all this week. Back next week on Tuesdays, soaking up the sun in Hawaii, celebrating his 40th wedding anniversary.
Man, salute to Mr. Gleason.
I'll tell you what. No, salute to Shinya for putting up with that dude for 40. I ain't even been with him 2 years on the show. And, dude, I had gray hair and everything, man. I had to get touched up today, man. So shout out to Miss Shinya, Whitey's wife, for putting up with that dude for 40 years. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, man. I'm just calling it like I see it. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Marcus Dupree, the great running back coming out of high school, Philadelphia, Mississippi, then starred at Oklahoma, the subject of the 30 for 30, the best there never was. Is that
what it was called?
Yeah. Is that
might have been what it was called. You might be right.
The best there never was. Like, you know, his story, he'll get into that coming up at the bottom of the hour. I want to switch to the Kings search for a point guard because I'll start off by saying John Hollinger, who, you know, we've disagreed with from time to time, did write an interesting piece on the NBA free agency class, especially the point guard class. James Harden, Kyrie Irving lead strong point guard class, and he separated the free agent point guards into tiers, max and near max guys. Also said more than mid-level, but less than max guys. So I want to go through this list, Jay, and stop me when you think this is somebody you're interested in for the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to just start right from the top, the max guys. These are guys, it ain't happening for Sacramento on the free agent market, but I want to list who he has on there. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Fred VanVleet. Those are the max guys, he said.
Fred going to get the max?
That's what he's saying,
wow.
Man.
He got a nice hefty contract, but the max coming up for him now?
Yeah, he's saying like a 3-year 110 for VanVleet.
Right.
His max is 3 years, 110 million. The tier 2 guys, more than mid-level, but less than max. He got D'Angelo Russell at like 24 million.
I see that.
You can see that?
I can see that.
No interest for the Kings.
No,
we don't want that. Yeah. Trey Jones. And I forgot all about Trey Jones. We've been talking so much about Tyus Jones. I forgot about his brother, Trey Jones, in Chicago. He got him at about 21.5.
Woo, a year?
Yes.
Ooh-wee.
Yes. He says Jones might not be a $21 million player, but there's also a decent chance he's seriously undervalued in the marketplace. You know, so
I could see that.
Kevin Porter Jr.
I'm all in on Kevin Porter.
Really?
I like Kevin Porter, but I would
the off the field, off the court stuff.
You know, I go back to the Miles Bridges situation. It depends on if Sacramento will accept it, what happens. But strictly saying, I don't want anybody, you know, Jay, you're up. I'm just talking about basketball wise. I like Kevin Porter Jr.'s game, but I'm also sharp and smart enough, intelligent enough to know that off the court stuff matters as well. But if we're just talking about basketball, I think Kevin Porter Jr. is a diamond in the rough.
He's 25 years old too.
Yeah. The problem is what can he mature enough off the court, and Is the organization, is the fans, the Kings Kingdom willing to accept what has happened already?
Yeah.
Off the court.
Yeah.
And I totally understand if you say no. I'm with you. I can understand that.
I mean, there's a reason he's bounced around, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why he hasn't stuck with anybody.
Yeah.
Whether it's
But I think you get him on the cheap. What does John Hollinger say?
This is what Hollinger said.
This is tier 2?
Yeah, this is tier 2, which is pretty high, I feel like.
I was thinking it'd be, 4.
He says, in tier 2, let me reiterate what tier 2 is. More than mid-level, but less than max. Mid-level about 14.1. So less than the max, but more than 14.1.
Yeah, I'm not willing to spend that type of money on Kevin Porter Jr.
I can't see it either. I can't see it either. Hollinger says the Bucks will likely be holding their breath, hoping they can bring Porter back at a lower price. They have the $14 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception. However, the stories about Porter from Cleveland and Houston may scare enough other teams that Milwaukee can keep him. So I don't know if the market will be there for him, and so the Bucks might be able to keep him on the cheap.
Okay.
The next guy, Chris Paul. Chris Paul. This is tough.
Sound like you're talking yourself into it.
No, I like Chris Paul. But based on what Hollinger is saying, I don't even know if we can afford Chris Paul. Because he talks about, as a non-bird free agent, the Spurs, he can be offered a maximum of 13.179, plus another 1.2 in incentives for a total of 14.4. That's from San Antonio. Slightly more than the 14.1. If you're the Spurs, do you bring him back? And if you're Sacramento, because I believe when it comes to the mid-level at 14.1, if you use the mid-level, that'll push you into the first apron. And I don't know if the Kings are ready to get that. Like, you know what I mean? Because they're not at that point where they're contenders yet.
Right.
If you're going to go into the tax and all that and everything, it got to be for somebody that makes a huge difference for you.
I'm with you. I agree.
I don't know if Chris Paul does that.
And Chris Paul is the epitome of what you would call a bridge point guard.
Yes.
And that's a lot of money for a bridge point guard.
Right. And so Hollinger suggests that Chris Paul is above the mid-level, above 14.1, but lower than the max.
And you got to think Chris is playing for a championship or nothing.
Right.
Is he willing to come here and do the Rajon Rondo?
Probably not.
Like, I think Rondo at that point, but the difference is he had a championship.
Yeah.
Rondo was playing for money. The Kings offered him a decent amount of money.
Here's the thing about Chris Paul, though, that he's gone on record as saying. He's wanting to be a dad now.
Right.
His family's in SoCal.
Right.
Does the proximity, Sacramento to LA, make it more attractive for him? And it's a starting position if he comes here. If he returns to San Antonio, he's coming off the bench. If he goes elsewhere, he might not get the starting position. So I'm interested in Chris Paul, maybe as a 2-year deal, first year guaranteed, second year team option. Tier 3. Now I feel like you're getting into the Kings range.
Okay. Somebody said, from the 209, let's go get John Stockton. The Kings could probably afford it. Dang.
Is that how old Chris Paul is?
Is that a shot at Chris Paul, or is that a shot at the fact that there's no one?
There's nobody out there. All right, I may have somebody for you coming up.
Okay.
Tier 3, mid-level guys.
So $14 million.
Yep, $14 million. Ty Jerome.
He's not my guy. He's Whitey's guy. Yeah.
I'm with you. He disappeared in the postseason. He disappeared in that series against Indiana. Tyus Jones. Hollinger says this: Jones is too good to work for the minimum again, but he's probably looking at getting a chunk of the non-taxpayer mid-level on a short deal to round out a contender's backcourt rotation.
Contenders.
A contender's
rotation.
Right.
So that's like a
what's that?
Orlando.
People
who feel like Denver.
Somebody like that. Somebody, maybe Lakers.
Yeah,
all right.
Lakers. Clippers.
Russell Westbrook. Russ is your guy.
He's interesting.
He's interesting. Russ.
Me and Whitey had a small conversation about this, quick conversation. I don't know if you can ask Russ to start anymore because he's come off the bench the last few years. I tell you this, though. The one thing we know, and this is what me and Whitey were talking about, he's bringing it every night, and he's a leader, and you talking about a dog. He's that guy. He checks off a lot of the boxes that I think Kings fans have been asking, and I could be wrong. Whitey obviously wants the shooting box to be checked, which we know it's not there.
Right.
We know Russ, could be a little hard-headed when he wants to, but the one thing you don't hear about Russ is he's not unprofessional. He does not show up to work. He's not going to ever not give you effort.
Right.
And he's bringing leadership. And he's connected to DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
I think he's the perfect type of player that would get good with Coach Doug Christie. I think they would get along very well. I'm just not sure. And
you're talking yourself into it, it sounds like.
Well, I like Russ, though. I'm a Russ guy, but I also understand why people are not. See, unlike Mac users, I can admit that I'm a fan.
Why are you still on this, man?
Well, I'm still got
they still coming at you, too.
I got still dig the knife in. I'm okay with saying I like this with knowing it's not the best. You know what I mean? Mac users don't do that.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 11.
What about Russ? You got some love for me on Russ?
Nah, I mean,
you ain't got nothing for me or nothing.
They don't move the needle for me.
Okay.
I'm out on Russell.
$6 million for Russ.
I'm out on Russell.
$5 million for Russ.
I'm out on
Vet
Russell.
minimum, which is what 4.1 or something.
Right. I think 3.6 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.6. Here's the thing.
Nothing for Russ
as your starter.
Okay, give it to me off the bench.
If we had a bona fide point guard,
right,
and we needed a backup, Russ is my guy. I'm going for Russ.
So, meaning bona fide, you have Ja Morant, you have SGA. Okay. Okay. I got you.
Give me anybody.
You got Jalen Brunson. I'm going to get he would be cold with the Knicks uniform right now.
He would be. They would love
okay,
him
I got you.
But to me, Westbrook, I need more of a facilitator type. I haven't seen Russ actually run an offense since he was in OKC.
Nah, come on.
Dog,
bro.
He was with the Clippers. He wasn't running things. He was with, Houston. He was in Houston. I give him Houston. With the Lakers, the ball was in LeBron's hands.
True.
Russ ain't it, Jay.
Okay.
You chasing names, big fella.
No.
Fit.
This is a Brit. We ain't winning no championship next year unless something completely has a complete opposite turn. We ain't winning no championship next year. What are we looking for on this list? We're looking for a diamond in the rough to be our point guard the next 10 years? Are we looking? Okay, so what are we looking for? A bridge?
We're looking for a bridge that can help us win, that actually fits.
So Russ can't do that. Russ can't help you win.
Not as
the one thing he has done is win. Has he not?
Did you see some of the mistakes he made in the playoffs, Shay?
I understand. Drapes.
You
all right, man.
I know how you are, Jay. You more glitz and glam. You more sizzle than steak. You know what I mean? Russ is nice, but as your starting
Russ
point
is
guard,
sizzle?
Yes,
man. People dislike Russ.
Ain't no substance there anymore, man.
Okay.
He's a
so
rotation guy.
Okay,
He's done as a starter.
All right,
on a playoff team, and who knows? Him and DeMar are tight, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe DeMar advocates for him. And I see 916 saying Russ is greater than Chris Paul. 209, I'm a Russ guy too.
Russ got some fans, but he's got a lot of haters too.
Yeah. He's kind of polarizing in that way. Let me keep going down this list.
Go ahead.
Now we get into tier 4. So one thing we've noticed through the first 10 guys I've named ain't really no great fit for Sacramento. So now we getting into tier 4, room or tax exception. If you got some cap space, or you got your $5.7 million taxpayer mid-level. That's not us, because I don't believe we're a taxpayer right now.
No, we're not.
But Spencer Dinwiddie.
As a bench player, yeah, not as a starter. He kills the Kings, man.
Yeah, he does.
If for nothing else, to stop killing the Kings, put him on our squad.
Right.
I like Spencer. He's a shooter more than anything, though.
Yeah,
I think we got enough of those, even though you always need more shooting.
Right. Yeah, he's not a traditional point guard running the system and anything like that. So I'm taking a pass on him. Cameron Payne from the Knicks.
Just continue.
Right.
Keep going. You said stop you when
All right. Now this guy.
Oh, wait, man, you can't set it up now. You just
all right, my bad.
Let me tell you if I need it.
Dennis Schroeder.
All right, I'm interested
now let's
in Dennis.
have that discussion.
I'm interested.
Let's have that discussion. According to John Hollinger, when you look at Dennis Schroeder, and he's talking about, a contract, $7.8 million, something in that range. The Pistons have early bird rights on Schroeder and could go up to 22.8 for this upcoming season, effectively allowing them to price out any rival that tried to offer him the non-taxpayer mid-level. And so here's the thing. If Detroit offers $20 million, that would price Sacramento. We can get them for our mid-level, 14, part of the mid-level, something like that. But the reason why I like Dennis Schroeder, he turns 32 in September. So he's our bridge quarterback. He's our bridge point guard. But Hollinger says he'd ballpark Dennis Schroeder's value at 2 guaranteed years for $10 million a pop on a deal that includes a 3rd-year team option. Paying Dennis Schroeder $10 million a year, that's almost a steal for Sacramento.
He's on a 2 for 25 right now.
Who's he with? But he's about to be a free agent, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
His last contract, he was 2 for 25.
I think Dennis Schroeder
got 12 and 13 over the last couple of years. That was with the Nets.
Makes sense.
Or my apologies. Signed that with Toronto, and then got some.
Yeah, he's bounced around though, right? He's bounced around recently. Golden State had him, but check out his numbers in Detroit. And Whitey's like, well, he's a shoot first guard in him. 10.8 points in Detroit, 5.3 assists in just 25 minutes. The thing about Dennis Schroeder that I like, let's say he's playing 28 minutes a game. He can get you 6 or 7 assists. But if you need him to score, he can do that also. Like, I'm looking at his numbers in Detroit, his field goal attempts, 9 field goal attempts a game. That's perfect. I don't need point guard to come in and take 16 shots a game. 9 shots a game for Dennis Schroeder?
I like him. I think he's got attitude. I think he is a dog. Like, you see him play for Germany, you could see it comes out.
Right.
And he's not going to he's not folding. He's not going to fold like a cheap suit. But I will say this, Drapes. Is he too expensive though? Like John Hollinger says 7.8?
Yeah, John Hollinger ended it by
25.
saying 2 for 20.
So he drops down $5 million.
$5 million. $10 million a pop, he said.
And comes here. How old is Dennis?
He turns 32 in September. So you get him for his 32-year and 33. That's your bridge right there. Now,
2 for the dub.
2 for the dub.
I'm interested.
Me too.
I'm interested.
He's probably one of my top 3 targets if I'm Sacramento. So Dennis Schroeder, we agree.
Yeah. Man, he's made a lot of paper in his life.
Did he?
Says career earnings, the Spotrac, $103 million.
Remember, he turned down that bag from LA, though,
Yeah,
right?
he sure
He
did.
should be a $200 million guy.
Man.
Right? He turned down the bag. The rest of these guys, I don't even know if I even want to talk about.
Who you got? Let me hear a few.
Jared Butler. Jay's like, all right.
I'm out on that.
Davion Mitchell.
I
don't think he's.
I'm not as high on Davion as
Really?
others are. Yeah.
Why not?
I still need to see if he's he can really orchestrate and run an offense. I think part of the reason why he works in Miami is because they already have a culture. They have a set way. Friend of the show, Mr. Jackson, comes on here and he talks about it. We do it the Miami way.
Right.
There's no other way to do it. Doesn't matter who you are. And he used Jimmy Butler because the saga was going on with Jimmy Butler, and we seen it. Jimmy Butler tried to pull as many cards as he possibly could with Miami. It worked to get him out of there, but for a long time, it was a misfit situation. I think Davion is. I don't want to say, because it sounds bad when you say you're a product of your environment when it comes to sports, but I do think if there is a place and a person to label a product of their environment, I think Davion works perfect
in Miami.
Perfect in Miami. Like, he is a perfect Miami Heat. Plays D. He's rough and tough when you need him to be. If you really look at, beside maybe going back to Tim Hardaway, when has Miami just really put the onus on their point guard? They've had, from White Chocolate to GP at the back end. Like, they've had Norris Cole. There's definitely a look for Miami's point guard.
Right.
And I think he fits that.
And
perfectly.
honestly, I wonder if he's a little salty on how it ended here in Sacramento. Does he feel kind of burned? And I know Mike Brown's not here anymore. Monty's not here anymore. It's a new era, new regime. But to your point, if Miami is saying, you're our guy, they took a chance on him. They believed in him. They gave him the keys.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Why leave? Miami. Come on, man. You on the strip, baby. You the Heat. You can walk into any place.
Yeah.
And get a free drink. And as you said, they want you. They believe in you.
Right.
You are a part of their culture, part of their squad. I just think he when you think of Miami point guard, you could put him up on a wall with 3-4 others, and I'd probably say he's their point guard.
Right.
Can he shoot it? He's developed a better shot than what he was here for sure.
He's developed.
Can he shoot it at a high clip? That's the only problem. He brings the defense. Can he orchestrate an offense as well? Do you believe he can orchestrate an offense for a full entire year as your starting point guard with Zach LaVine, with some big, some big faces on his team?
Yeah, that's the thing.
DeMar.
He's going to have to tell them, nah, I'm going over here. Like, I'm passing. That's tough. That's tough. Real quick, Jay, I don't even want to go through the full list, but he had Markelle Fultz, number 28.
Damn.
Way down.
And what was that, still tier 3?
Nah, that's tier 6. Partial guarantee in-season pickup. Here's what he says about Fultz. Fultz is only 27, believe it or not, and still capable of eye-popping plays on the defensive end. Unfortunately, he still can't shoot, and it swallowed up his game and made it hard to keep him on the court. It's not just threes either. He made only 24 of his 59 two-point attempts after joining the Kings late last season. His past two seasons have featured true shooting percentages of 45.2 and 49.2, and that won't get it done. I'm not opposed to bringing Markelle Fultz back.
I'm not either. On just what he said, a non-guaranteed contract. Show it and prove it to me.
Yeah, prove it kind of contract.
Definitely.
Coming up in a second, I got one guy who I know the Kings have taken a look at in the trade market. Not necessarily a free agent, but one guy the Kings have shown interest on the trade market. I'll tell you who it is. Coming up next, it's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock. Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Just rated 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A warmer start Wednesday with temperatures in the upper 50s, and we're in for some heat in the afternoon. Highs will be near 100 across the valley with a Delta breeze overnight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke. Like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the biggest selection, the best prices, and unbeatable customer service. Check them out online, SacSuperstore.com, for the guaranteed lowest price on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Open until 10 o'clock and right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. SacSuperstore.com.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoplet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
The Drive, guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140, Drapes and Jay. Coming up at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock, Marcus Dupree, the best that never was. Great running back in high school at Oklahoma before his career took a left turn. We'll talk to him about his football career and a whole lot more. That's coming up at 4 o'clock. One quick note, the Rafael Devers press conference is over, Jay. He is in the lineup batting DH third tonight against Cleveland, and he said, and I quote, "I'm here to play whatever position they want me to play."
Man, that's a dig at the
Right.
Red Sox.
Right. The Giants say they're slowly working him into at first base. Obviously, he was a third baseman in Boston. They wanted to move him. He didn't want to do that, and then it spiraled out of control after that. I want to get into the point guard situation for the Sacramento Kings because right before the break, I said one point guard I know the Kings have been in contact with and has shown interest in. And before I tell you who it is, I want to go to my boy Frankie Cardicelli's Twitter page because he had a poll he put out about 6 hours ago. Of the guards that Sacramento has been linked to so far this offseason, who is your preferred point guard target? 40.8% said Darius Garland. 35.8% said Trae Young. 14% said Drew Holiday. And the fourth and final person on this poll, 9.4%, Marcus Smart. I've been told, Jay, and this was late last week, somebody told me.
Just sources?
Sources have told your boy Drapes. The Kings have some interest in Marcus Smart. Nothing specific just yet. I said, does Marcus still have something left in the tank? You know, he's been injured and everything. They said, yup, of course he does. He's only 31 years old. So the Kings have shown interest in Marcus Smart. So I said, all right, let me look at Marcus Smart's situation there with Washington. He has 1 year left on his deal at 21.58. He's missed a lot of time in recent years, though. He only played 34 games this past season, 20 games the season before, and 61 the season before that. But here's the thing about Marcus Smart, Jay. We need a culture setter here in Sacramento. Coming up next hour, we'll talk about who the face of the Kings is right now. You could argue we don't have one. Not saying Marcus Smart would be, but we need somebody that can come in, hard-nosed defense, competitiveness. And I'll say this, Kings fans, because I know you're probably thinking, Drapes, Marcus Smart is past his prime. Look at his numbers. To me, Marcus Smart's value isn't, you can't find it on Basketball Reference. It ain't going to be under no analytics, under an advanced stat or anything like that. I've covered Marcus Smart in his career. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First 6 years of his career in Boston. When I look at Marcus Smart, his value is more than just points, rebounds, assists, three-point shooting. I've seen this guy go head to head against James Harden, Jay. And in a clutch situation, draw 2 offensive fouls in the final 30 seconds of a game against James Harden. The thing about Marcus Smart that I like, and his nickname is the young game changer, that's exactly what he is. He is a game changer when he's on the floor. He's a guy that doesn't need shots to have an impact. You know what Marcus Smart is? We look at a guy like Neesmith, the way he plays defense, Nembhard, the way he's a better version of them in terms of a dog defensively. And so I know the $21 million may scare some people off, but could Marcus Smart be our bridge point guard?
I'm going to, for the sake of conversation,
okay.
I'm a Marcus Smart guy, so I'm in on Marcus Smart. But I'm going to play the role of other Kings fans, maybe majority of Kings fans. I'm not sure. Can't stay healthy, Drapes. He hasn't done anything in the last 2 or 3 years, Drapes. He is what we consider old in the NBA at the age of 31, Drapes. His time has passed him, Drapes. Marcus Smart really ain't the best shooter, Drapes.
That's all you got?
I mean,
I know
that's 6 things almost. You know, I like Marcus Smart because I think 2 things you said for me. This team, one way or another, has to begin to show that they're creating a culture.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's thrown around quite a bit. I'm pretty sure fans, listeners, people who watch sports always like, does it really matter? But I think when you really sit down, and I challenge listeners, when you have time, I know we're all busy. When you have time, even Mac users, when you have time, go and check out some of your favorite athletes, some of their interviews, and the ones who have been super successful will tell you, or you'll hear it in an interview. They'll say something of the sorts. Man, that team, we were like brothers. The culture was amazing. Mm-hmm. We did everything off the court together. You hear these phrases. You hear people talk about that, and then you look at the examples of the OKCs and the Indianas. These are the New York Knicks. These are teams who are making it to the finals, playing for championships, who are making it deep into the playoffs. There's something there to it. I don't know what it is because you can't see it. You can't quantify it, but it's something to it. Marcus Smart is the head of that. He's a snake. He's the type of guy that's at the head of that snake when it comes to culture setting. He's going to be a part of it. He's going to be a professional. He's going to show up. He's going to be a leader. He's going to know when to tell people, no, we ain't doing that. And as we talked about when it comes to Davion, he has the charisma to look Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, even Coach Doug Christie, maybe even Scott Perry, and say, no, I'm not doing that. And this is the reason why I think we should do it this way. And he has cachet behind it because of who he is. Now, with all that being said, and I'll say this, he's a young old guy.
Right.
Because he's missed so much time that the body hasn't went through all the beatings over the last handful of years prior to, him being with Boston. The problem, though, Drapes, is this. I think for people like me and you, especially someone like yourself, when we envision Marcus Smart, we envision Marcus Smart tail end of Boston run, Memphis. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, man, because when he first got there, he was moving and grooving until the injuries real quick. Mm-hmm. It was a flash in the pan, but it was quick, and he was still Marcus Smart. I don't know if I can take a chance on trying to rekindle that if I don't know it.
here's what I'm going to say. Marcus Smart is my guy, 1,000%. But I'm telling you and Kings fans, the Kings have shown interest in Marcus Smart.
I know why.
This ain't about whether you would do it or not. This is.
It may happen.
It may happen.
So get ready for it if it does happen. Okay, I got you.
I'm just saying. So how we feeling? I don't need you to sign off and everything like that. And I see people on the text line, 916, stop it. We already had Crowder, first a coach or old guy. We don't need another one. Too old and injured.
Crowder's gone right now.
Yeah,
as a free agent.
Somebody 916, you want to bring Smart in as a backup? Great. No way to bring him in as the replacement of Fox. The thing about Marcus Smart that I think the value he gives for Sacramento. Now, the $21 million concerns me. If he's a free agent, $10 million, something like that, great. But you know what Marcus Smart is? He's the dude. Jay, you've played pickup. When you go to a pickup game, you see guys playing basketball. When Marcus Smart is in that pickup game, you see guys competing.
Right.
Going at
changes
each other.
The energy.
It changes the energy. It raises. And so one of the things that I think the Kings need to improve on, is we got a lot of good basketball players, but are our guys out there competing every single night?
Man, that's a great point.
Marcus Smart, if healthy, I understand that's a big if, but I wonder in Washington and in Memphis too, how much of it was the organization, how much, they weren't going anywhere. We'll talk about that because when it comes to Marcus Smart, it's one thing he does that I think the Kings desperately need. I'll tell you what it is. It's the Drive Guys coming up next on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Calling all gamers, get ready to play ball. It is video game night with the Sacramento River Cats on Saturday, June 28th, and we're bringing your favorite worlds to the ballpark. From pixelated classics to modern hits, it's the ultimate mashup of gaming fun and baseball action. Whether you're a casual player, hardcore fan, or just in it for the vibes, this night is for you. Enjoy a summer evening of River Cats baseball like never before. Level up your game night. Grab your tickets at rivercats.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Is your AC on the fritz? Call Bell Brothers. Looking to replace your old unit with a 0% financing and no payments for 12 months on approved credit? Call Bell Brothers. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. Call today to get a free estimate on a new HVAC system, or simply schedule your $87 AC Precision tune-up to keep your system running smoothly. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
All right, back there on the Drive, guys. Drapes and Jay take you up to 6 o'clock. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we got Marcus Dupree, former Oklahoma running back, joining us. Talking about Marcus Smart, who the Kings have shown some interest in. Nothing serious yet, but the 31-year-old guard spent last season between Memphis and Washington, has 1 year left on his deal at $21 million and change. And here's why I'm a proponent for Marcus Smart, having covered him for 6 years in Boston. And somebody from the 530 says he's not a point guard. Actually, he is. First 6-7 years in Boston, he ran point. He serves as point, backup point, whatever you want to name. He can run the pick and roll. He's not a shoot first guy. He is a playmaker. He likes to make winning plays, whatever that means. But the thing about Marcus Smart, why I think it's perfect for Sacramento, Marcus Smart is a cage rattler. Marcus Smart, best believe, when you take the floor against him, he's saying, I got the best player. I got him. Look out, coach put me on him. We don't have that right now, Jay.
I'm with you.
We don't have anybody. Marcus Smart is a leader. Talk to Jason Tatum in Boston. Talk to Jaylen Brown in Boston about those early years they had with Marcus Smart. He was the heart and soul of those early Celtics teams. Ask Al Horford. Al Horford on record as calling Marcus Smart the heart and soul of those Boston Celtics teams. And Jay, we talked about it off the air. People are like, well, look at his injury history. But his injuries have been hand, finger. Ain't like it's an ACL or Achilles or something like that. These are things he should be able to come back from. Maybe it's been freak injuries, things like that. But to say that his injury history, when it's a hand, or a finger and not a knee or a leg is the reason you're not interested, I don't know about that. I think Marcus Smart fits in perfectly for what we need. Because here's the thing about it, Jay. If I'm calling it like I see it, we got a bunch of really good basketball players. But sometimes it's hard to gauge their pulse. If you're down by 30 to Orlando. One thing about Marcus Smart, you're going to feel him. You're going to know how he feels about what's going on in the game. Remember, there was a time they lost a game in Miami. I think he kind of went ballistic afterwards. Marcus Smart is the competitor that we need. Marcus Smart is the fire to our candle. Marcus Smart is the flame to our barbecue. We got the meat. We got the steak. We just need some fire under him. And the thing about Marcus Smart, he won't be afraid to tell Zach no, tell DeMar no, tell Domas no. I feel like that's what we kind of need at a point guard, out of a point guard. Because you can't feed everybody equally, Jay. Sometimes you got to see, oh, Keegan got it going tonight. How many times do we see Keegan start off hot and then never get the ball the last 3 quarters?
Quite a few times.
That's what we need from a point guard.
Got to feed him.
Got to feed him.
Got to know when to feed him.
Got to know when to feed him. And I think, and I'm not saying Marcus Smart is the answer for 5-7 years. He's our bridge guy. This upcoming year, maybe you extend him, 1 or 2 more years. But in terms of a stopgap, in terms of trying to change the narrative and the culture in Sacramento with the Kings, I think I'm all in on Marcus Smart. Diamond D and LBC says Marcus Smart is the kind of player Coach Doug would love. 100%. Campio's not in on it. He says if it happens, it would be another bad mistake by the Kings organization. It's only a 1-year deal.
Yeah, it's got trial and error.
Trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, great. If it doesn't, he was only here for 1 year.
What do you have to give up? 21 mil.
DeMar might be a part of the package.
Mm.
The question is, can you get Washington to attach a draft asset to it?
Kind of like what we just saw with Memphis and Orlando.
Yeah. Maybe it might only be a second rounder or something like that. It might, but I'm not giving back any draft capital.
No,
I'm not giving back anything. That's for sure.
Got to make the money work.
Got to make the money work. What's DeMar getting? 26, I think, this upcoming season. Smart, 21 and change.
It's tough, Drapes, because the last real visual I have of Marcus Smart, I'm all in on that.
Mm.
But how long ago was that?
That was the hand we said, Jay, right?
Yeah, he had fingers, a couple finger injuries, and a couple of hand injuries.
Right.
The last couple of years. The other thing, too, and Whitey says it's not just looked up, someone from the 916, we need to get younger, not older. And Whitey consistently talks about that. He always talks about we need to get younger. I just don't know. And this is part of it. We're talking about a bridge point guard to get us to the other side, to the younger point guard. This next move, 916, is not the move of the future.
Right.
And so I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm okay with that. And I just want to make sure we clarify that. Because there is a part of to get younger, it's almost take 2 steps back to take a step forward. That's basically what this is. I'm okay with that. I think for me, we'll see the first couple of moves, and that will dictate where this team is going. If they're going to take 2 steps back to take a step forward, or are they just going to stay on the accelerator? They're not taking steps back. And if it becomes that, then I'm probably looking to get as young as quick as possible.
916. You have to have a safety gap. Smart is not it.
It's true.
Well, then who is?
Well, I think you need, if I'm reading that right, Drapes, if Smart is your starter, you better make sure you have somebody behind him, because he's shown over the last 2.5, 3 years, he can't be counted on for availability. I think that's what
okay. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at Marcus Smart, and I hear you on the injury front, but it's a hand. And when I texted my source, does he still have something left in the tank? Of course he does.
Of course. Let me mimic that. Marcus Smart will forever have something in the tank because he's wired that way.
Right.
When whatever his next endeavors are after basketball, you won't have to question Marcus Smart having something left in the tank, because he is a dog. He's someone that is always turned up when he puts his mind to whatever he's doing. Marcus Smart would have been a perfect point guard for this team 3 years ago, fresh off Boston, going into Memphis, before we've seen all these injuries.
Right.
I like him, but I'm playing the part of a lot of people. He just can't stay healthy, Drapes. So now not only do we bring him in, now we got to spend money to bring in another person, because we don't know if he's going to be. And then at the same time, we want to keep Markelle Fultz. Now we got 5 point guards. Here goes the King's Kingdom. Oh, and we got Malik, who wants to play. He's got to have the ball in his hand, and we know Zach needs to have the ball in his hand, and we know DeMar needs to have the ball in his hand. And by the way, we're still waiting for Keegan to take the next step, and he needs to have the ball in his hand and garner more shots.
We're going to pick up this conversation coming back in just a little bit. But coming up next, been waiting for this interview all day. Marcus Dupree, former Oklahoma star, high school star. He's going to join us here. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at ChooseMat.org.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question.
Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the latest class of the A's Hall of Fame will be inducted before the A's play the Reds on September 13th. And what a group, including longtime A's broadcaster Monty Moore and the big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. And when those guys pitch together in the A's rotation over a 5-year span, their combined records 234 and 119. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Drapes and Jay holding it down. Hour number 3. Our guy Kevin Whitey Gleason hanging out in Hawaii. He'll be back next week on Tuesday. Next week, a big week for the Sacramento Kings. The NBA draft Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, the Kings only have a second-round pick. But if you believe the reports out there, they're looking to get back up into the first round, which I believe to be true. It makes sense. If you're Scott Perry, your first draft with the Kings, you want to have some toys to play with. You know what I mean? You want to be part of the fun.
Drapes, I hit. I don't think he minds me saying he's Jeremy Woo.
Okay.
Draft analyst, one of the better ones around the game. And like, hey, Jeremy, man, you want to jump on this week for me real quick? And he texts me back. He's like, Jay, super, super busy. Always love. I want to triple check, make sure. See what he said. I make sure I'm saying it properly here. And he says, Jeremy with the ESPN, I should say.
Yeah.
And he says, as of right now, I'm trying to pare down my interviews to the people that's in the first round and in the lottery. He was like, but rumblings may be there to where I call me back.
Really?
Might be down the road. So I hit him. I'm like, hey, if they do trade up into the first round, I'll hit you back. And so that's where he says, he's like, holla at me down the road, just in case. Now, that's the third person, draft analyst, who is somewhat skipped around the fact that the Kings are looking to get into the first round. Rafael Barlow said aggressively.
Yeah.
Jeremy Woo's like, hey, give me a call back if it does happen, so to say. And someone else we had on. No Ceilings.
Yeah.
Nathan Grubel from No Ceilings said, hearing Kings are being, they're very passionate, I think was the word he used, about getting back into the first round.
So it ain't fire yet, but it's some ember, some brimstone. Yeah, there's a little smoke starting, right? They're rubbing the two sticks together right now.
Yeah.
There might be something.
It ain't boiling, but it's simmering.
Okay. Okay. That would be huge for Sacramento. If we got a first-round pick, 2021, everybody on the text line and the YouTube, we need to get younger. Well, there you go.
But Drapes, if we need to get younger, and I don't disagree with that. I do believe we need to get younger. Younger probably means the window is extended a little further out for this team to be ultra competitive. Would you agree with that or no?
I'll put it a different way, Jay.
Okay.
Younger means we probably got worse.
In the immediate.
I'm talking for this upcoming season.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if we go younger, this team probably doesn't make the playoffs. Unless you go get some form of fashion. You swing, you send 5 draft picks to go get a star.
A star.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. And that's where if you're Scott Perry, you got a decision to make. And that's why I think getting the stopgap makes the most sense, Jay. Because let's say you're Scott Perry and you look at this roster and say, it's not a championship roster. You want to make some moves. But what if you can't make the trades that you want to make that are advantageous? Let's say this is the roster you go. To me, it behooves Scott Perry and the Kings to get somebody that actually works and complements this roster for the short term than going to get a 22-year-old that ain't going to play or B, not going to have the respect of the veterans on this team to be able to even run the team.
Got to go get a star or someone that is trending to be a star to get Zach, DeMar,
right?
To get that, like you said, to get that respect. The problem is the people who are out there who fit that bill, you about to pay a hefty price. I'm 916. Go get LaMelo. I'm 100% with you.
Sure.
But let me tell you,
if Desmond Bain
you giving up 5 number ones
and
to go get LaMelo.
Swaps.
Absolutely. And you probably send, and they probably having a conversation about sending, Devin Carter.
Mm-hmm. Here's the problem with going star hunting if you're Sacramento. To Jay's point, and you can hit us up 916-339-1140. I want to hear from you guys out there. Are you interested in Marcus Smart? Do you want them to go star hunting? If you want them to get younger, give me a name then. Because here's the thing. If you go star hunting, Scott Perry and the Sacramento Kings, you're emptying out your assets, your draft picks, your young talent. Orlando just gave up 4 first-rounders and a pick swap for Desmond Bain. Best believe the Ja Morant, the LaMelo Ball, the Trae Young conversation starts at 4 or 5 first-round picks and a couple of pick swaps and some players because you got to make the salary match. So it doesn't make sense for the Kings to go big game hunting because you'll deplete your young players and your draft picks, Jay.
Some people are willing to do it. Drapes. But I think, as you said, it makes the Kings, I won't say terrible, but they're not as competitive this year. Immediately, this team, if you're giving up 5 draft picks, you're trading a piece or two. Some people are like, hey, well, at least you got your one building block, and I'm willing to wait 2, 3, 4 years down the road as you build. But where most people forget is when you give up 5 picks, it's hard to build. And so it's kind of like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And that's why, as much as I'm a LaMelo guy, or, I like Darius Garland, he's probably, if Bain is getting 4, you're probably getting 3 for Darius Garland.
Right.
That's a lot to give up if you aren't tied. The other part too, Drapes, that plays a part in this for me is have the Kings really came out? I think I know the answer, but have the Kings really come out and say Devin Carter is a part of our future? Keegan Murray is a part of our future, and not verbally, but do you think they've shown that? Like, is the writing on the wall?
I feel with but here's the thing. It's Scott Perry now.
Different
Everything is on the table now. Everything is different now. I do feel like the Kings have viewed Keegan Murray as part of the future. I don't know how Scott Perry views Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. And to your point about these big game hunting Trae Young or Ja or LaMelo, if I'm any of those teams, it might be starting with Keegan Murray. You know, I'm asking for that.
Yeah. Yeah. You want LaMelo? We start with Keegan. Then we move on to how many draft picks you ready to give up. Yeah.
That's it. And
takes two to tango, maybe 3, even 4 sometime.
Exactly. And Campio says, get a point guard in the draft. Well, Bobby Gerald.
It was not that easy.
Yeah. And he said, I think it might have been on the morning show the other day or even on our show last week. He tweeted it out. He doesn't feel like there's anybody, young point guards, late first, second round, that can come in and immediately help you.
Yeah.
And so when I look at some of the text, Kings need to start building for the future. I'll take a step back in wins in the short term for a better future from the 916. What you're telling me is, because there's a possibility, Jay, let's say Scott does want to move off some of our big names. He might not get the kind of offers he wants, so we might be forced to run it back. And so, Kings fans, are we better running it back and adding a veteran and be competitive this upcoming season, or running it back with a young point guard that doesn't fit, that makes us worse? That's why the stopgap makes the most sense to me, Jay.
Bridge right now.
The bridge.
Because it makes the most sense of what's going on with the way the roster is constructed. That first move is going to, most people say the first move is the best move. This might not be a prime example of that, Drapes. What Scott Perry and BJ Armstrong in the front office does their first move, and I'm not saying like, they re-signed Mason Jones. Shouts out to Mason. Hopefully he is to a bigger deal or something of that nature. That's different. What I'm saying is the first move that has ramifications when it comes to big, the meat of our roster. I'm highly interested because, as you said, Scott Perry is a fresh set of eyes. BJ Armstrong is a fresh set of eyes. And guess what? The people that's on the roster are not his guys. They're not really his players. One of the first things that, as soon as Scott Perry got the job, everybody threw out Zach LaVine. What he talked about Zach LaVine on the podcast.
Right.
How he viewed Zach LaVine. So we know this team, of course, is not his, but just some of these players may not be his type of style ball player. I'm interested, man. I'm highly interested to see what that first real move is from this front office.
Looking at the text line 530, the Kings have very little upside right now. The right move is to trade Sabonis, DeRozan, and LaVine, retool, stack up draft assets, and young players. That
I guess we're okay with
being Utah or
for the next 5
years. And we might not get the assets that everybody thinks we're getting for our players. It be like, I look at the Desmond Bane package. Is any team giving up 2 rotation players, 4 first rounders, and a pick swap for any of our guys?
Hell no.
That's the issue.
No.
where we're at right now.
No way,
and that's why if you're Scott Perry, you're not giving away guys for pennies on the dollar just to give them away. You better off running it back, trying at the trade deadline, trying next offseason. And honestly, if I'm keeping it a buck, Kings fans, 916-339-1140. We'll get to the phones coming up in a minute. We'll get to you guys coming up in a second. If we're keeping it a buck, I feel like our players might need to rehabilitate their image around the league.
Ooh, that's interesting.
To boost up their value, if you will. Around the league, our players are looked at as very good players, but are they winners? Can they help you win? We need to have some success, a la 48 wins a couple of years ago, to show you can win and compete at a high level with these guys. So if you're Scott Perry, I could be totally wrong, Jay. I could be totally wrong. I think we're running this thing back with just a stopgap at point guard.
And working around the edges.
Sizing everything up, seeing how it pans out, seeing who fits, who doesn't, seeing what the trade market is for guys. I don't think Scott Perry, and this is me talking, not Scott, I don't think his mandate or his thought coming in is, I'm going to blow it up. It's like owning a business and buying a company. You don't just fire everybody immediately. You come in. All right.
Assess the situation.
Hey, this is how it's going to be. Can you get on board or not? And if you can't, then I'll make a move.
You know, who has the most value? Who has the most value for the Kings?
I got to say Domas.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay. But isn't it strange how this roster, it feels like we have this conversation in Sacramento, and I could be wrong, but it feels this way to me when you look outside. I mean, look inward towards outside. I feel like the way Sacramento envisions our capital, our players, is we don't have enough cachet throughout the league to demand 4 draft picks, 2 rotational guys. And I'm not sure if it's because we talked about the NBA media and how a cesspool of it is right now. But it feels like when you look around and you hear the Windhorses, you hear the Mark Steins, you hear the Chris Haynes, you hear the Jake Fishers, you hear the Shams, you hear all these different people throughout the league. It feels like the Kings don't have anyone that anyone would say, well, you know what? If the Kings dangle Domantas Sabonis, they'll get 4 draft picks, or it's going to come with a high ticket price, or, the price is going to be high to go get Domas. It feels like we don't have those type of players. Everything we continuously hear, Drapes, is, well, Zach LaVine's one of the worst contracts in the league. DeMar only fits in certain places. Domas is the type of guy that's got to play next to a certain type of center. Devin Carter's fresh off an injury. We don't know what he is. Can Keegan take the next step? But he's probably the person that brings the most. Like, we have a bunch of people, a bunch of players who I feel like, and that's what I'm saying, when I look at the NBA landscape, I feel and we have so many people who come on this show. We have so many people who come on this station through the morning and the midday. And it feels like people are like, yeah, that's only going to bring two picks. Yeah, DeMar only really fits in 5 places in the NBA. Domantas can only really play like 4 different teams in the NBA. That's my feeling.
Right.
I feel like we are consistently told that. And that's why I'm not sure. So who's got the highest value? I agree. I think it's Domantas Sabonis. I think Domantas brings quite a bit of a haul. I believe, unfortunately, because we are our own bubble, I believe that Domas has a higher value than I think we believe in Sacramento. I think so. That's just my take, my opinion. But I damn sure don't know if he bringing four number ones.
Right. You think 3?
3 unprotected? Dude, they gave up 4 number ones, 3 unprotected, and 2 rotational pieces.
Right.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. Jay, let's get to the phone lines, man. 916-339-1140. Check it. It's time to check it. Our boy TC hanging on. TC, what's up, man? You're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening?
Hey, man, mic check. Hey, let's get going, man. Hey, look, it's going to be kind of short, though. First and foremost, Jay and Drapes, what's up?
What's up with you, man? We good.
Hey, just vibing. Hey, so, hey, we got to think about the guys that Doug Christie, that really Doug Christie and Terry want, right? They want some defense. They want defensive-minded guys. So a lot of the guys we're talking about, when we're talking about Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Shooter, them is the guys. We talking about like a bridge point guard, right? And then we can either draft the point guard or figure out what we're going to do. But as far as guys coming in here like that, those are the guys that we want in. Kings fans, we be talking about we want a dog, we want somebody at the point guard. But then when we talk about them, like y'all doing, Drapes, everybody want to deny it. Everybody want to go back to talking about, I'm ready to rebuild. I'm ready to take. Come on, what do we want, man? Do we want a dog, or do we really just want to blow everything up and get rid of everybody? Period. That's my question to Kings fans, bro. I'm on the Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, the type of point guard that Doug wants, and then we can worry about the rest later, bro, and put this team together. That's all I got, bro.
Check it with TC. And I you know what? And I know TC make the rounds. I know TC be calling every show in Northern California, but I'm going to back him up on this, Kings fans. Every time we throw out a name, Jay, first thing people do around here, this guy's contract. This guy got injury history. This guy a bad malcontent. This guy too old. The fan base weighing in on these players are like reading Trip Advisor reviews.
Okay, man.
You know what I'm talking about, Jay. I do it all the time when I'm looking for hotels and restaurants and everything. I'll see 100 positive reviews.
Right.
But soon as I see one negative, I'm out. And that's what Kings fans seem to be doing.
Across the street.
That was 5 years ago, but still, I'm out. Everybody, and to echo T, everybody we named, we looking for warts. Well, we can, he can't do it. Dog, we need a dog. We need somebody. It's true, Jay. It's like, dog, Kings fans, we want the perfect fit. Ain't no perfect fit out there, big fella.
Right, man. Unless you're giving up 10 draft picks.
Unless you're giving up 10 draft picks. Let me ask you this, and this is your boy, and this not to diss him. LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. He ain't perfect.
How many playoff series he done won?
0.
How many times he played 82 games?
0.
He's got injury issues.
Absolutely.
Trae Young, fantastic. Don't play defense.
That's right. He's a malcontent. Doesn't get along with his coach.
Ja Morant.
Oh, man. Where do we start?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like we want to go get Jason Tatum. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
Go get Giannis. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
Those things don't happen.
How about this, Jay?
Not that quick.
We threw out Zion.
Yeah.
Nah, he eats too much. Come on, man. What are we doing, Kings fans? You guys want solutions to the problems, but then when we present them, y'all shoot it down. Nah, I don't like that solution, no. I don't like that solution. It ain't no perfect answer.
Man, you're hilarious. We've all been in a position where you go into a hotel, an Airbnb, right? You go somewhere, and it's somewhere you haven't never been. So you're looking around, right? And you hit the hotel.
You know,
it's got 4.9 stars. And then all of a sudden, you get that one. Oh, nah, man.
The shower pressure wasn't good, right? You know what I mean? It's always so. That's what we're doing out here right now. That's 1,000% what we're doing right now. Dokos Loco says, get me Cole Anthony. That ship has passed, big fella. Memphis ain't letting Cole Anthony go. We got to take a break. We're going to get back to the phone lines. I see Casey hanging on as well. 916-339-1140. Kings fans, can we stop being and stop reading the TripAdvisor reviews when it comes to point guards, and let's just settle on a damn person? You're listening to The Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. One radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text Injury Help to 40222. That's Injury Help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive, guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140, take you up to 6 o'clock. You can hit us up, 916-339-1140. Man, Jay behind the boards right there, playing a little yo-yo, Ice Cube. I miss that, man.
This one rap was a lot simpler.
Or
the worst thing was when she said, check the booty.
Right.
That was the worst thing you get. Check the booty.
Here's the thing, too, Jay. I was thinking about rap music. We'll get right back to the
Make it
Kings
sound
tape.
square.
I know, right? We'll get back to the Kings here in a second. I see Casey on the line. Get to him coming up in just a little bit. You know what I miss in the rap game? Groups, crews, hieroglyphics. Wu-Tang, what we going to see next week?
Wu-Tang got about 38 members.
Even a duet. Mobb Deep.
Okay.
EPMD.
Okay.
Eric B. Like, I don't care what it is. Run DMC. Now, we don't have that anymore.
That's true. You really don't even see duets anymore, huh?
Nah.
Let alone trios.
You know, guys doing features and stuff
Ball
like
and
that.
MJG.
Right.
You're right.
8-Ball and MJG. Come on, man.
I ain't
Cash
think
Money
about that.
Records.
Crew.
Come on, man. Master P and them, his crew.
Dog
Mia
Pound.
X, all them.
Yeah.
Dog
No
Pound.
Limit. Yeah.
Where'd that go? What
Oh,
happened?
I don't know.
I be playing stuff for the kids all the time, man. I'm like, oh, y'all don't know about this because we got something called the car playlist. I don't know if you got this at your household, you know, with your daughter and everything, wife and everything. But we got the car playlist. Public Enemy I got on there.
Do it. Or really
What?
three.
Yeah,
trio.
yeah, you got, yeah.
Right.
Shoot. Boogie Down Productions, even though it was KRS, you
Right.
know, but still.
There was a crew behind
It was
it.
a crew. You ain't got no crews anymore,
Nah,
man.
crews are out the window.
That's ridiculous. We need
Definitely out the
crews.
window. There's
We need-
very few of them. If there are, what's my guy? Tyler, creator, he's got a crew, right?
Yeah, he
Him
got
and
a
his
crew. Which one? 41. You know 41?
Nah.
With Tata and yeah, my Nick put me on to all that. Nick be putting me on to that.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Jen Carter and Tata.
Okay.
With 41. Yeah, that's a little crew.
Okay.
Somebody said Jess is saying the Clips. I ain't checking for the Clips anymore.
They
You
just-
heard that? I know they just
Today?
Yeah,
Yeah, drop something today.
You know, you knowing me, you know I'm not
Right.
a Clip pusher.
Yeah, I got you.
P
I got you. Yeah,
Pusha
Pusha
T
T.
guy. You know
Malice.
I'm not that. Malice and them. I was back in the day. Not
I'm with
anymore.
you.
Not anymore. They fell off a little bit.
I'm with you.
916-339-1140. Talking Kings. What's going on? Real quick, 209. We all know Drapes was all about Latrim. Latrim back in the day. That might be before your time.
That's
Jay.
before my
That's
time.
before
For
your
sure
time.
it's before my time.
All right, let's go to Casey hanging on line 2. Casey, what's up? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Casey?
Not much, man. So I just wanted to say, you guys were talking about, we need to get younger, but that, Drapes, you said that comes with us being less competitive. I would argue we're not competitive right now. So, I mean, what are we competing for? Are we competing for the play-in or the 6th, 7th seed, or are we competing for a championship? Because right now we're nowhere near competing for a championship. We've all said this team doesn't have a number one on a championship team, so we've got to go out and find that guy. And for us to act like that we want to hold on to our draft picks, we only have 2 players on our team right now that were drafted by us anyways. What have we done with our draft picks over the course of Vivek's regime as owner? We've traded away all of our good draft picks, and we haven't capitalized on our draft assets before. Once we draft guys, we're already talking about trading Devin Carter, and he hasn't even played a full year yet. So why are we holding on to these draft picks that we seem to mess up anyways? Trade these draft picks before we screw them up, and then get some talent in the door.
Casey, I like your passion. I'm going to push back on Casey, though. 916-339-1140. Hit us up. And I've said this, and maybe it's Drapes just drinking the purple Kool-Aid because Uncle Vivek signs the checks. But this team won 40 games last season by firing their coach, trading away their best player, having Domantas Sabonis miss time, having a coaching staff, let's keep it real, that was in shambles, that wasn't all on the same page, and the players knew that and saw that, and we still won 40 games. Now, are we a 50-win team? Probably not. But there's something to be said for Sacramento to have some stability. Give me 3 seasons in a row of 6 seed. 5 seed. I'm taking that because you know why? Now when the books are clear, now when we make our 2 draft picks, what we got in 2027, let's not forget that we got 2 first rounders in 2027. We got 1 in 2026. Now free agents, people are looking at us, Pascal Siakam types when it's time to trade. Oh yeah, Sacramento, they building something, they legit. Let me go there. Reason why Pascal ain't want to come is because we weren't stable. And I don't think he wanted to play with I thought he'd rather play with Tyrese Haliburton than De'Aaron Fox. And so I'm going to push back on what Casey had to say about draft picks too, because Scott Perry ain't make a draft pick yet. I haven't seen Scott Perry work his magic yet. And so honestly, I'm of the belief that this team, as presently constructed, and you add a point guard, I don't care if it's, you can add anybody on the list. Marcus Smart, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, whoever you want to add. I can bet my last dollar we will win more than 40 games. We won 40 games in the most difficult of situations. Most teams fire a coach. Most teams maybe trade a player. Most teams, maybe they'll have a front office exec leave. We had all of that and still won 40 games, turning the roster over midseason, no training camp. Jay, I know you saw the picture Eric Musselman pointed out, posted today.
Yeah.
Doug Christie down there hanging with DeMar and Zach and Mason Jones over at USC.
Yep.
You know as well as I do, the path to building a contender doesn't happen in September during training camp. It happens right now during the offseason. So the fact that guys are getting together, something they didn't have last season, remember? Because we had upheaval. We had roster turnover. The fact that guys are getting together, putting in that work right now with Doug out there with them, I honestly think I'd like to see what it looks like first 2 months of the season.
You willing to sit down and see 30 games?
I'm willing to see that. With the caveat, we need the point guard. You got to get somebody, whether Schroeder, CP3, somebody.
What's the ceiling? Plug a point guard that is reasonable into this rotation. Bring Jake LaRavia back
I forgot about Jake.
What's the ceiling for this team if you're running it back?
With a point guard, right?
With a point guard. And you can plug a point guard in there, whoever you want it to be. Marcus Smart, Chris Paul.
46 wins.
46 wins.
46.
Where does 46 wins next year?
Right.
Split the difference.
Because you can't look at this past year. Each year is different.
Split the difference. Split the difference between the Beam Team year and this year. How about that? Beam Team year, they won how many games?
48.
48.
Second year, they won 46. This year, 40.
Where does it get you? 7? 6, 7?
Seed, probably.
6, 7?
Probably. Let's say 6,
You
6,
good?
7.
You're good with that if that happens this year. Draper,
Yes.
Kyle Draper. Okay.
But with the caveat, you got to win that play-in, though.
Meaning you got to be one of the last final 8.
Yeah, you got to be in the final 8.
Okay.
I'm good if we 7. I'd rather not be 8, but I'm good if we're 8. I think playoff basketball in Sacramento is something this city needs, this franchise needs. We need years of stability. We don't need 3 more years of in the lottery. We don't need 3 more years of 25 wins. Hell, Doug and Scott Perry might not even be around to see it when we finally turn it around.
It's the old argument of do you tank versus do you, continue the road that you've already driven. But it fits a little different in Sacramento in the form of I'm not exactly sure what we have that other people want, and I'm not exactly sure if we in Sacramento, and I'm saying we, I'm talking about the organization, and I think this is the question a lot of fans have been asking, the direction, but are we willing to dive all in right now?
In terms of what? Tanking or no?
Tanking versus all in. Because this team is not old, but they're middle-aged.
Right.
They're middle-aged.
Right.
This is a middle-aged team. What is on the roster right now is ready to go right now. They don't need to wait. We don't need to allow nobody to, step into the next part of their career. Like, we know what DeMar is. He's on his way out. We know what Zach pretty much is. There's some other teams. We know what Jonas JV is. Yeah. We know what DeMontis is. I think the only two, maybe 3 players that we consistently are asking for more is Keon, Keegan, and Devin Carter.
To see what they're
going to develop into. Now, Jake LaRavia, you might can add to that if he's part of this team, but Malik Monk is Malik Monk at this point. We know he's a dynamic 6-man.
And we got to talk about Malik in that tweet you sent me too, and his future in Sacramento.
Yeah.
We're going to have that coming up at the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll get to the phone lines, 916-339-1140. You're rocking with Drapes and Jay. It's the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the drive, guys, Sacktown Sports 1140, Drapes and Jay, hanging out till 6 o'clock. Kevin Whitey Gleason will be back next week. Tons of Kings talk as we get closer to the NBA draft, which is next week, Wednesday and Thursday. Kings right now only a second-round pick, but that could change. Some smoke out there. Our boy Scott Perry maybe moving and grooving, trying to jump up into that first round, which I know a lot of Kings fans would love. Compio on the YouTube chat. Next season, the stars of the league will be even older. Look for them to miss a lot of games with injuries. KD, LeBron, Curry, Draymond.
So he's in. Sounds like he wants to go for broke.
Yeah, he's been saying we need a point guard, somebody with some length, though, 6'5" and above. I don't know if that's out there. Here's the thing, Jay. And people are saying, well, we don't have any assets or anything like that. Saw that on the text line, I believe. We actually do have assets. We got a first rounder next year. We got 2 first rounders in 2027. And we talked yesterday about Scott Perry's tweet, and I'll pull it up again right now. His Monday motivation tweet. He puts a tweet out every Monday, sort of a motivational message. And it got us thinking, is this directed directly at Sacramento Kings fans? Scott Perry, we need to develop patience and endurance for lasting achievement. We often expect immediate results and instant gratification, but any worthwhile endeavors entails much trial and error. Learn to look at each setback encountered, not as failure, but as necessary to get you one step closer to ultimate success. Stay patient and consistent in your efforts, and you will find victory. I read that to believe, even if this isn't the group that wins us the championship, just selling off parts at the local swap meet ain't the way to go for Sacramento. Is there a path, Jay, where we stay relevant, win 46 games, 45, whatever it may be, and still at some point find our point guard of the future. Because here's the thing. Did Dallas tank this year, Jay?
No.
What pick did they wind up with?
Well.
And I'm not saying you got to leave it to that, but there's other ways.
Got gifted the number one.
Who the two star players in the NBA Finals right now?
Ty Haliburton, and that'd be SGA.
Where were they drafted? 12 and 11.
Yeah, Sacramento and the Clippers.
That's not a top number one pick.
Nah.
My point is, why, yes, there's better talent higher up. If you're the Kings and you're Scott Perry, if you draft 20, 22, 15, get the damn pick right. That's the issue, Sacramento Kings fans. The issue is, if we get our picks right, we are fine going forward.
The problem, Drapes, well, I guess it's not a problem, but I think the pushback to what you're saying is I've brought this up. It's tough to look at history and what the Kings have done in the draft versus bring it to current. Coach Christie, BJ Armstrong, Scott Perry, they weren't the ones that were drafting Thomas Robinson over Dame Lillard.
Right.
But as a Kings fan, you're scorned, right? You're scarred with that. And then the second part of it is, the tough part for a Kings fan is, we got it right. We drafted De'Aaron. We drafted Ty Haliburton. And look what we've gotten in return. So it's still always, and I know that's a scar. I know that's something that Kings fans have to get over. But I'm just telling you what a lot of fans, and you get this because they come up to you. This is what I get. You know, I'm sitting down and I'm relaxing or something, whatever. People talk to me. It's like, yeah, but you know what, J-Man, we had Ty Haliburton. We had him. He was in our hand. We had De'Aaron. De'Aaron was right there. And I know that's not Scott Perry. I know that's not BJ Armstrong. I know that's not the front office. And I also say this. I was highly in favor of, well, first of all, let me take a step back. I never want anyone to lose their jobs because it's tough to live out here. It's difficult.
Right.
But I was highly impressed that Scott Perry or whoever, man, I don't know who did, but the fact that the Kings have gotten new scouting. Their department had some overhaul. The scouting department lost a few guys, and they're putting some new fresh faces and eyes. Because as a Kings fan, I've always felt our scouting hasn't been up to par. I've always felt that we haven't had all hands on deck when it comes to our scouting department. Now, that's my opinion. Could be completely wrong. We might have 36 scouts that I don't know of, but I've always felt we've lacked in that department. Right. So I was very happy to see that Scott Perry or whoever, the new regime, let's just put it that way, because I don't know who did it, but the new regime has come in and said, you know what? We want to flip the script a little bit. We want to do some different things. And so I was impressed by that. But you look at history, it hasn't always, most of the time, not always,
right.
Most of the time, it hasn't shined bright for the Kings when it comes to the drafts. And that's why I think you see a lot of people saying, I'd rather have 6 shots at it than 2, because 2, we haven't been that great.
Not. You know, I hear you.
Quantity over quality.
916-339-1140. Should I go to Brendan J on line 1? Brendan, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening, Brendan?
Hey, what's up, Drapes? How you guys doing?
Good. What's going on?
All right. So I definitely think we need to be patient on this whole point guard thing. And I'll tell you why. We don't specifically need a dog. We need players that are hungry. You ain't coming to Sacramento to get a huge bag. It ain't happen. It ain't never going to happen. We want you to get your bag, but I mean, can you tell me that Sacramento is going to be, oh, they signed so-and-so to the biggest contract in league history? Can you?
No,
you can't. So we cannot rely on draft picks because how many times have we screwed up what we got or gave away what we got or just picked a bad player? We don't have time to go through all that list. So I have somebody for you.
Okay.
That would fit the bill, I didn't hear nobody talk about it, and I know for a fact this guy's hungry, and I guarantee you he ain't going to cost you anywhere near what these point guards you're talking about are going to cost you. And he's already been awarded 3 times.
Who you got, Brendan?
3-time slam dunk champion, Mac McClung. He ain't going to cost you much. He's hungry. He wants an opportunity. And if it don't work, it don't work, and it didn't cost us anything. And we go to the 2027 draft and pick a point guard there because, we got a bad lottery pick because we, we're good this year and the next.
All right, Brendan, I'm going to throw that out to the fan base. Brendan says a dark horse, a sleeper, Mac McClung, who's in the Orlando Magic system, the G League squad down there. What is it? Magic Go-Go or something like that? Something like that.
Man. All I know is Stockton Kings stomped on him.
Stomped on him.
It's the city starts with an O. What's it called?
Osceola. Yeah, Osceola. Is Mac McClung the answer at point guard? I'll throw it out to you. 916-339-1140. It's the drive, guys. Here on Sacktown Sports, 1140. Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. Have a clogged drain? Call Bell Brothers and we'll unclog it for only $67. Plus free camera inspection, valued at $250. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We used advanced camera inspections and diagnostics. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
Listen up, Sacktown Sports 1140 listeners. You have all week to listen to a Sacktown Sports 1140 show just like us, the Drive Guys, and you have a chance to text in 916-339-1140 for your chance to win our signed Sacramento Kings DeMar DeRozan jersey. Code word right now, that'll be free.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
KHD-1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140, final hour. Drapes and Jay hanging with you till 6 o'clock. A lot of Kings talk. Everybody trying to come up with the answers, trying to figure it out. Who's our point guard? Diving deep, right?
Scuba.
And I'll tell you what, Jay, we probably talked about 25 different point guards on this show. But Brendan, he might be the smartest guy in the building. He has an answer for the Sacramento Kings at point guard.
Shouts out to Brendan, first of all, for jumping on and being a soldier. Or maybe that's not the best word. Now, the climate we're in. Being a dog and letting everybody know who he thinks. But we had to go to break, but I wanted to question Brendan to see if he was an undercover Laker fan trying to infiltrate the kingdom.
If you missed who Brendan said we should go after, our answer at point guard, 3-time slam dunk champ. That's what he said, Jay.
He did.
3-time slam dunk champ, Mac McClung. Half the audience is like, who? Right? And the other half is like, what the heck is
if
this?
If you haven't watched the All-Star Weekend the last couple of years, you probably don't know Mr. McClung.
All right. I'm going to just go through some of the texts that have come in from the 209. I'm not even going to say the first part. Brendan is a blank. That's a Warrior fan trying to hold the Kings down longer. Also from the 209, different number. Mac McClung went 4 of 21 from the floor in the Game 3 Finals championship against the Stockton Kings. Mr. Clutch, LOL. He would fit in perfect. Yeah, right. But then somebody from the 209 says, I have to say, that's not a bad idea. Mac McClung.
Okay.
I watched him up close in person when they played the Kings, the Stockton Kings, and he really showed out.
Game 1, he balled.
He was clearly one of the best players on the floor.
Game 2 also.
Okay.
I was at Game 2 in person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Game 2 in person here out in Stockton. Game 3, he just didn't show up. Well, he showed up, but he didn't have a good game, I should say.
Yeah. 916, Mac McClung, question mark. Was Jimmer Fredette not available?
He's retired, man.
But
Jimmer retired, baby.
Jimmer, he hung him up. He hung him up. Manny Tulajay, he's a great dunker. Don't know how well he plays. Here's the thing. If Mac McClung can't get us any run with the Orlando Magic, why is he the answer for us as a starting point guard, Brendan? Mac McClung ain't the answer. I'm sorry. If he is on our G League, if we wanted to take a flyer as a number 11 man on the roster or something like that. Okay.
We got enough of those.
We got enough of
We got a bunch of guys competing to stay on the roster.
Right. We need a starter.
Upper tier talent.
Somebody that is an actual NBA player, Jay. And no offense to Mac McClung. He may be. No offense.
He may be.
We just haven't seen it yet. We need somebody that can come in and run the show. Not somebody that's coming in trying to score 25 or 30 and think it's all about him. Shoot first point guard. Because I feel like when you look at our roster, we have enough one-dimensional players too, Jay.
Ooh. That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
When you look at Boston, OKC, Indiana, all those guys, those teams, the players on those teams, they could do more than one thing.
Meaning defense and shooting.
Right.
Or offensively gifted and
right. You create for others or something. Yeah, something. When I look at
got a few superpowers.
Right. And the more guys with superpowers you have, the harder you are to defend. And so 916-339-1140, you guys can weigh in on this. Mac McClung, yay or nay. But when I look at this Kings roster, I don't need one-trick ponies. I need a playmaker, a game changer. And I said it last hour, I believe, Kings fans.
You need SGA.
We need SGA. I think all 29 other teams need SGA. But the Kings have shown some interest in Marcus Smart. I'm not saying he's the long-term answer or things like that. But if healthy, and that's the big question with him, he's a guy that can defend, that can facilitate, that's clutch, that has some dog. His biggest wart is the injury situation. And it's been a hand and finger, not the knee, not the Achilles, not the ankle, which is something, that's chronic and will constantly come back. That's who we need. Somebody like that. And no offense to Brendan, Mac McClung. Can you imagine Mac McClung running the point for the Sacramento Kings? Oh. You got DeMar on the left and Zach on the right. But Mac McClung ain't going to know what to do. He's going to be leading the break and go, turnover.
Come on, James. You got to give him a little credit, baby.
Man, Mac McClung ain't ready for this life, big fella.
James, go back to that list for me real quick.
What, Hollinger?
Revisit that John Hollinger, that athletic list of point guard free agents this summer.
All right.
If you don't mind.
Where you want me to start at?
All right.
You want me to start at the top tier?
There's how many tiers on this entire list? 6?
Let me see. It might be 7. Let me
7,
see.
okay.
Yeah, 7. No, see, but he goes deep. Prominent two-way candidates. You know what I mean? We don't want that.
Yeah, we ain't trying to go that deep.
Yeah, he's going super deep on it.
So give me the top 4. Just run them down for me. How many people are in the top 4 tiers?
Top 4 tiers?
Yeah.
You got, let me see, 1, 2, tier 4, which includes Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Schroeder, Davion. You got 16 in the top 4 tiers, according to Hollinger.
So tier 1 is James Harden, Kyrie, and one more guy.
Fred VanVleet. Yep.
I don't think we're interested in any of those.
We out on those guys.
Yeah, they make us older. They're really not bringing that to the table.
Expensive.
Too expensive for sure.
All right.
Kyrie off an injury. Tier 2. Where are we at right there? That's Chris Paul in them tier.
D'Angelo Russell.
Okay.
Trey Jones.
Okay.
Kevin Porter Jr., Chris Paul. Those are those guys.
And those, what did he title that tier?
He labeled that more than mid-level, more than 14.1, but less than the max. Okay. So you're talking 15
to 20.
20, 25. Yeah, something like that.
Got you. Tier 3.
Tier 3, according to John Hollinger, of The Athletic. Mid-level guys.
MLEs.
14 which we
million
have.
Yeah.
14.1. We can use all of it. I don't know if we will. Ty Jerome.
Okay.
Tyus Jones. Russell Westbrook. That's it.
Man. And last tier, number 4?
Number 4, room or tax exception.
Okay.
5.7 million, or you could squeeze these guys into mid-level too if you want. Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Payne, Dennis Schroeder, Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, or Aaron Holiday.
Wow.
I'm going to be honest with you, Jay, and you're going to weigh in on this. Of the top 16, only 2 or 3 really make sense. CP3, Schroeder, and maybe Westbrook.
Okay.
Davion might, but I don't think we'll get him. Like, I'm talking realistic.
Want to come back
here,
here,
yeah. I'm talking realistic. Though he calls it a deep and, well-stocked class. I'm looking at it like ain't much there to me.
No, especially that fits with the Kings. I think what we are looking for when it comes to the Kings roster. You would like to kind of settle in on someone that is back half of the 20s, but isn't going to cost probably with like CP's probably a 1 year for $20 million type of dude. It sounds like Fred VanVleet's going to get the bag.
He's going to get the bag.
Crazy to me, but if I'm looking for an MLE, a mid-level exception type player, and that may be a 1 or 2 year, 2 for 20, like you said, Dennis Schroeder, some type situation. The names that you have rattled off don't excite me. I'm with you.
Right.
I know a lot of people are looking at the Jones brothers, Trey, Tyus. For me, they don't fit my bill, but I can understand if you bridge them, if you want to make them the bridge point guard until you can get maybe 2. And this is the most interesting thing. Do you, because I've said this on the show, and I've said this to Whitey, I can't remember if you were here. To me, point guard is probably the most prominent position in our league right now. I think if you look around and you count who has the most stars at what position, I know we're playing in a positionless basketball to a certain extent, but point guard is probably the one that you can kind of point to most stars who have, and I say that in the form of they have the ball in their hand the most. SGA, Ty, Dame Lillard, Kyrie, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Suggs, SGA, so on and so forth. Jalen Green, James Harden, De'Aaron. I feel like a lot of people are looking for their next point guard. Hence, we seen with Orlando. They had 2 youngsters down there.
Yeah.
And they like, you know what? Jalen, you're probably a combo type, caliber type player. We looking for another guard.
Go ahead, Jay.
LaMelo out there too. It seems like it is hard to come across a point guard that is an upper echelon point guard and doesn't have some type of warts. And I think that's what you're saying, what TC has said today. That's hard to find right now. It is difficult. It is difficult. And when I really sit back and I'm listening and I'm trying to observe while I sit here and talk at the same time, Drapes, I'm not sure there is a point guard that probably fits our entire bill.
Right.
That's not going to cost everything.
I'm going to reframe it like this, Jay. As we go through this exercise until the Kings actually get a point guard. And Kings fans, listen up. This is 100% serious, Jay. I need us to look at our point guard position like this. Who do we want to go to battle with against Minnesota, Lakers, Denver? Who do we want our point guard to be when it's time to battle for a playoff spot. Let's say it's a play-in. Do we want Tyus Jones as point guard or Dennis Schroeder? You see what I mean? Like, on paper, some of the stats look good. But when you in the foxhole, I need a CP3. I need a Dennis Schroeder. I need somebody, and I'm not saying those other guys are afraid of the moment, but I know damn well for sure CP3 and Dennis Schroeder ain't afraid of the moment. They not afraid to go in. Dog, we got the Lakers on a Friday in LA, bring it on. They are competitors. They looking to send a message. We need guys that aren't just basketball players. We need guys that are competitors, that actually live and breathe and die winning or losing. I'm not saying the Jones brothers don't. I'm just saying I know CP3, your boy Westbrook, my guy Schroeder. That's what they're about.
They ready for it.
They ready for it. And so, and because we're just talking about the stopgap.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the bridge.
Mm-hmm. The plug.
And so, while all these guys, other guys may be better, more talented, but on this team and what we need, I think we need somebody with a pulse running the point. I don't think we need just another guy on the team. I think we need somebody that hates losing, that when the clock is winding down 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, they not just passing it to DeMar and going stand in the corner, wait for their turn. They out there making plays too. That's what I think we need and what I'm looking for in my bridge point guard.
Man, Drapes.
Oh, I'm preaching right now, baby. I'm preaching.
Just don't know if they're out there like that.
Dude, I just told you, Jay. Schroeder.
Yeah.
CP3. Your boy Westbrook.
Mm-hmm. I think that for what if that's the qualification you're looking for, yeah, absolutely. But is that enough to move the needle here? And it may not have to. May not have to. That's why I said I think we can go round and round, and we will, because that's part of what we do. That's what we do as Kings fans. That's what we do as sports fans. We're gonna go round and round. But I'm telling you, man, I'm excited, and I'm anxious to see what that first move is from Scott Perry, because then I think we will the groundwork will start to be laid to where what he and the front office is thinking.
Right.
I'm not sure where he wants to go, meaning tank, keep the foot on the gas, and just continue to build and move a few pieces around. Or as Whitey continues, he said this year, he's like, man, it looks like the Kings are going to try to thread the needle. And it looked like that's what they tried to do. And depending on who you ask, I think we can all say it wasn't successful, but it wasn't the ultimate failure. Right. It wasn't like, oh man, they bottom out. And that's what you're saying is,
right,
man, there was so much strife going on last season, and they still had a decent year.
Yeah.
It was a decent year.
It was a decent, record-wise, decent year.
Do you have enough gall to let Devin Carter jump out there and start and go get a Russ to back him up? Could that be the answer? You just picked him. He's a lottery guy.
I don't think he's ready for that yet.
Even if you bring in CP3, you bring in Dennis, you bring in Russ to back him up?
I'm starting those guys. Maybe by the end of the season, midway through the season, he's ready. Remember, he started off late, Jay.
Yeah, January.
Late January, yeah. And now, if he comes in, because here's the thing.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Quick question. Does Devin Carter play Summer League to you this year?
He should.
Okay.
He didn't play it last year because of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Missed half the season.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see him come and ball out. If he's healthy.
Yeah, just
if he's healthy, I want to see it. We got so many guys that want the ball. And I'm not saying they're selfish. I'm saying if I'm Zach, I could take this dude. I could score on him at will. If I'm DeMar, this dude trying to check me, give me the ball. I can take it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Domas, same thing. Is Devin Carter, you know what we need, Jay? Sorry, I'm jumping around, but I don't need somebody to run the system. I need a point guard. I need somebody to recognize when the system might not be working or you see something. I need a coach, a point guard on the court. And I'm afraid at this stage, Devin Carter, he's just running the system.
Running the system.
I go out there and run the system. Yep, coach, pass it over here. Yep, pass it over there. No, I need somebody coming down. Oh, my God. So-and-so's guarding DeMar. Coach, no, we ain't doing that. We doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We going this way. Oh, Keegan got this mismatch. We running that. That's what we need right now. We don't need somebody to just run the system. We need somebody to command the freaking offense on the court.
Man.
Yeah. And those guys I mentioned, and I'm going to throw my boy Marcus Smart in there. And I'm like I said, it's just a stopgap. Because if we get a point guard that's just running the system, all they doing is passing to Zach, Domas, or DeMar and going into the corner. Nah. Our issue is we don't have enough players that make other people better, that don't make the game easier for others.
That's a great point. Now, that is a great point. We, as you said, we got one-dimensional guys. We got a lot of guys.
We got
who are great
scorers.
at what they do.
Yeah, we got a lot of good scorers. For instance, how many people have you seen make a pass to Domas for an easy layup out of this current group?
Malik.
Exactly. It's taking you too long right there. That's it.
Malik for sure.
Malik for sure.
Yeah.
Who else is running the pick and roll? Who else is running the two-man game? Who else is running the two-man game to not only look for their shot, but also to set up the other guy? That's what all those guys I mentioned, Schroeder, CP3, Russ, they not only can come off the Marcus Smart, they can not only come off the pick and roll and score, they can also facilitate. Come around, double team comes, I'm kicking it out to the corner for an open three. That's what Indiana has. OKC has it. Boston has it. That's what you need nowadays. Swift. Let's take an early break, Jay. Let's take an early break. 916-339-1140. Oh, that's Swift the call. All right. We're going to get to the phone lines coming up in just a little bit. Sacktown Sports 1140. It's The Drive, guys.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Jay, you killing me, man. Is this Latrim right
It's
here?
Latrim, man. Come on now. I'm giving the people what they want.
Come on. You know what we got to do on Friday or something, like a throwback day.
We do it Fridays anyway.
Oh, yeah,
I got
you do
you.
it anyway. But I need this.
Okay.
You know what I
okay.
mean? I need some Michelle A. Nice tea. Something like that. Come on, man. I miss this era of hip hop. Shout out to Bunny D, Lady Tigra.
Yes.
Shout out to them back in the day. Dude, you can play this all day for me, man. I ain't even got to say nothing. I ain't even got to say anything here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Drapes and Jay here with you for the next half hour before we get out of here. Talking about what the Sacramento Kings need. I just went on a long rant that we need somebody that make others better. Before the break, I said, who's making Domas? Who's hit him for a pocket pass or on a roll for an easy layup? Jay said Malik. Conversely, who set up DeMar for an easy bucket? Who set up Zach for an easy bucket? That's why we need a point guard. And no offense to Tyus or Trey and those guys, because who knows? They could be fine. But CP3, Russ, Schroeder, Smart, Those guys make others around them better. Those guys make life easier for others. If I'm Zach, DeMar, Domas, and I say I need a point guard, that's what I need. I don't need somebody to just cross half court, pass the ball, and go stand in the corner. I need a playmaker out there, Jay. 916-339-1140. That's how you can speak to us here on The Drive, guys. I need somebody that's not just going to follow the system and run the plays, but when the shot clock's down to 8, down to 10, and it's money time, can they also go out there and get their own bucket? Because I felt too many times this past season, we relied on one-on-one basketball. For DeMar, it was one-on-one, and for Zach, it was hit tough shots. We need guys to make life easier on the basketball court offensively. And those 4 guys I mentioned, CP3, Schroeder, Marcus Smart, and to a lesser extent, as far as I'm concerned, Russell Westbrook, all fit the bill. Jay, we're going to get to the phone lines here, 916-339-1140. Who we got on line 1? Swift. What's up, man? You're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me on. I don't know if I can top the Mac McClung proposal, but I have something for you. I think it might make you happy.
Okay.
I think what's really important is the Kings need to take on salary, right? We have the ability to do that with our trade exception. And we need to target a team out there that maybe has too much salary and maybe contracts that are too long that we can take on and can maybe help them out and help us out. So here's my proposal. We trade away. We're going to trade away Zach LaVine. We're going to trade away Keegan. We're going to trade away Devin Carter. And we're going to trade away DeMar DeRozan and possibly even Minnesota's first-round pick. But here's what we're going to get back. We're going to get back Jamal Murray. We're going to get back Aaron Gordon. And we're going to get back their small forward there. What's his
Michael
name?
Porter Jr.?
Michael Porter Jr. Okay, so we're taking on salary. We're taking on a lot of salary, hundreds of millions of dollars in salary. But could you imagine that team for us? We get our point guard. We get our length shooter player in Michael Porter. We get a big body, right? And we still maintain some of our bench. And the reason why Denver would do this is because it clears a ton of salary off their books. Not only does it save them $20 million this year, but it prevents that $48 million that they're going to pay for repeater tax this year, which is actually going to take them out of that repeater tax for next year so that they continue to build around, young 30, 31-year-old, Jokic, right? So this is my thinking. What do you guys think?
All right, Swift, we appreciate the call, man. That's very complex. You basically said trade the whole team for Denver's whole team minus Jokic. Here's why it doesn't make sense for us.
Or Denver.
And Denver. First of all, let's start with Denver. If you're Jokic and you're in your prime and you're going to tell me you're trading our second, third, and fourth best player, well, you might as well trade me also. I'm out of there. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild or, a retool or revamp. Hell, Denver took OKC to 7 games, and Jamal Murray was banged up. So it doesn't make sense for Denver. Also, it don't make sense for us. You could argue, and I understand he's saying, take on salary. You could argue Jamal Murray ain't worth the dollars he's getting. And as great as Aaron Gordon is, he's getting up there.
Did he say Aaron Gordon? He just said Michael Porter, Jamal Murray.
He did say Aaron Gordon.
Okay.
Yeah. He basically want to bring Denver here this way, and we send them us. It don't make sense to me.
Nah, I don't see why Denver will want to do it in the form of, and I understand what he's talking about, saving money, but you got Jokic. Your foot is on the gas pedal until Jokic slows down.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe they do see it that way in the form of Denver, meaning they see, Zach LaVine and DeMar and Keegan and, pieces that they can win a championship with. But I I don't think it's that easy. I think they really love Aaron Gordon, what he brings to the table. We saw that he was missed this offseason. This postseason.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if MPJ is gone this offseason.
Right.
But
I can't see them moving off Aaron Gordon.
And why would you want to move off Jamal Murray?
He fits perfectly with Jokic.
For sure.
It don't make sense.
And I didn't hear no point guard going back to them.
Yeah, that's true, right? That's true. Somebody said 916. We don't have to imagine that team. That team is Denver. Basically, that's what it is. Minus Jokic, and we got Domas. 916-339-1140. Let's get to KD. KD, you're hanging on with Drapes and Jay. What's up?
Hey, appreciate you taking my call, man. Hey, what's happening? Hey, look, man, first of all, that caller, I'm not too sure about that, but I guess what I'm saying is I think we're putting too much stock in, not specifically you guys, but in the zone. I'd like to see a trade where all three of them go, but if not, maybe Domas is somebody else. Because if you look at the salaries, and if we're being honest, how many times have we seen Domas at the end of the game go get a bucket and win it? If we really think about it, there wasn't a lot of time. And if you look at, and I like his skill set, I like him as a player, I like him as a person, I think he's overpaid. But, if we're really looking at it,
we lost you. You there? You cutting out on me.
Oh.
All right, got to let him go. Got to call back. Good call right there. He's talking about maybe moving on from Domas. Here's Domas's contract. 43.6 this upcoming season. 46.7 in 26-27. 49.9 in 27-28. That's a lot of change.
For sure.
Top
10 player, though. Top 25 player in the league. You're going to have to pay somebody that way.
Right. Exactly. You're talking about an all-NBA, all-star caliber big man. I don't think Domas is the issue. I think surrounding him with the proper players around him is an issue. And that's why I think if you get a point guard that can take some of the load off the playmaking of DeMar, of Zach, of Domas, that's what we need. And let's get back on the phone. KD just called back. What's up, KD? Continue, man.
Hey, sorry about that. I was just saying, I don't know where I cut off, but I guess what I'm saying here is I'm trying to help people understand Domas is a good player, but he's not 50 million good. And when we look at the end of games, there was really, even if we go back to the playoffs, Domas didn't really perform until after when he got stepped on by Green, he was MIA for the most part. It was Fox, the one that was going to the hole. So we need people that can attack. Because I've been watching these playoffs, man, and I tell you what, there's not a whole lot of Kings players that can even hang with half of these squads that are going in these playoffs. So I'd like to see them move on with all three of those guys, start fresh and rebuild, and let's swallow the pill. And in a couple of years, we get better. That's my opinion.
All right, KD, appreciate it. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Austin hanging out on line 2. Austin, you're on with Drapes and Jay.
Yo, Drake.
What's up, man?
Just a heads up. Dave and Buster's Austin.
Oh, my guy. Yeah, what's up with you, man? Saw Austin yesterday. He actually calling in.
Yeah,
appreciate you, baby.
Oh, man, you out and about, huh?
Yeah,
I'm always
moving and grooving.
things.
I'm always moving and grooving out there.
Hey, I promise. I've met 100 celebrities in my life. The first time I felt starstruck, I saw Drapes.
I didn't pay Austin to call in, ladies and gentlemen. I did not pay. Appreciate you, man.
You always lying. No joke. I seen him across, we were 50 feet away. And I was like, motherfucker, that's Drapes. Pardon my language. Drapes. So, no. You know what we need?
What we need, Austin?
Schroeder.
Bam.
We need a defensive point guard, 100%.
I'm with you, Austin.
No, I mean,
and we need somebody that's hungry too. He's hungry out there.
Exactly. And he'd been around the league a little bit, so you act like he's not going to be a good presence in the locker room too. Man knows how to get down and work. That's what he's going to put his head down. That's what we need. Somebody that's going to defend and get us up. Like, I'm tired of being mediocre, man.
I'm with you. You know what we need, Austin, and everybody listening? We need somebody sort of like Domas, that when they play, you feel that the game matters to them.
Oh, Domas, I love him to death. But, like, if we could have got, like, let's say Domas and Rudy Gobert, if we had Domas and Rudy, shoot. Put De'Aaron with us? Come on, man. That's a squad right there.
Austin.
Keegan in the corner.
Appreciate you, man. I'm up against it. I got to take this break. Shout out to my guy, Austin, man. Cool dude. He out there at Dave & Buster's in Roseville. Shout out to him.
You just hanging out, huh?
I'm out moving and
baby.
moving,
I see
man.
you in the summertime.
I'm out in the streets.
Enjoying yourself,
you know
man.
that. 916-339-1140. We're going to take the quick timeout, Jay. I got Curtis hanging on. I got Josh hanging on. Final couple of calls coming up next here. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A warmer start Wednesday with temperatures in the upper 50s, and we're in for some heat in the afternoon. Highs will be near 100 across the valley with a delta breeze overnight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
The Roseville Auto Mall is Northern California's ultimate destination when looking for your next vehicle. Find the largest selection with 20 top brands. And don't forget Dad this Father's Day or that grad in your life. We've got you covered at the Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Trey Songz, live. All the hits, all in one night. Trey Songz. Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley. With special guest Jeremiah. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com and see the show. Trey Songz, Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Final segment here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Coming up tomorrow, we got the high flyer, Henry Turner, joining us for the full show, 2 to 6. As we talk NBA, we'll get into who's the face of the Sacramento Kings. Also, has rings culture ruined the NBA? We'll talk to High Flyer about that. Yeah, that's a good one. LeBron James had some really strong comments about that, and we'll share that with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock when the High Flyer joins us. Back to the phone lines, Jay, 916-339-1140. Let's go to Curtis on line 1. Curtis, you're hanging with Drapes and Jay.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, Curtis?
Enjoying your afternoon show.
Thank you.
I know you guys, you're closing up. You were talking about throwbacks. Does that mean movies or just anything in general?
Wow, you got something? I mean, I can include movies.
Something. I got something. I was thinking about it because I remember listening to your segment a couple of weeks ago or a week ago that you were talking about movies, like old movies.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? Let's see.
Curtis, how you gonna call up here and don't know the name of the movie,
you
man?
gotta have it ready, Curtis. Come on now.
Clueless. It's Clueless. That just exemplified what I was doing.
Curtis, appreciate you, man. Clueless, yes. I remember Clueless. Who was in that movie? Stacey Dash? Yeah, Stacey Dash back in the day.
Donald Faison.
Yeah, Faison, Brittany Murphy, Alicia Silverstone.
They're actually rebooting that.
Are they?
Yeah, I read that not too long ago. You can Google it. They're rebooting Clueless. I don't know if they're turning it into a sitcom, a show. I didn't dive deep into the article, but I did read they're rebooting that in some form or version.
You know what's crazy? When he said Clueless, I'm like, that's not a throwback. That shows you how old I am. 1995 is like to the kids now. Music, Ja Rule's a throwback. You know, early Drake's a throw, and I'm like,
E40 said anything over the a car older than 25 years is a classic. It's a throwback, man.
It's a throwback.
You OG Drake.
I know, man. You know, and my boy Fabulous, who I love. Fabulous, one of my favorite rappers. Yes,
okay,
that is my guy right there.
Okay.
He had a line. I forget what song it was. Your car is 10 years old. You driving in a throwback.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, 10 years old is a throwback now?
Throwback, man.
Can't get with it, man.
You gotta have them buttons, baby.
Here's the thing. The throwbacks, I'm still playing like it's new today. You know, I'm still playing Public Enemy like it came out yesterday.
Man, it'll never be OG to you. It'll be your current.
It's my
that's
current.
what you grew up with.
That's exactly 916-339-1140. Josh, you're hanging out with Drapes and Jay. What's up, Josh?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
So, I got I've texted this in a little bit ago, and I might be totally off here, but something that I would love to see is a 3-team trade, given that we just found out Memphis is totally willing to part with its pieces to rebuild. Offer something very similar that they got for Bain or Triple J.
What is that?
I would love to get Jaren Jackson Jr. and then add Marcus Smart into that, and then they're gonna get those 4 firsts, and then turn around and offer them up 2 expiring contracts that are going to be difficult for us to move, and we get rid of DeMar and Levine.
That's too much money, though.
I know.
Gosh, that's too. KCP is on 2 for 47, I believe, left on this deal. So let's just say you're trying to unload DeMar. Okay, I can deal with that. $26 million. You got, as in the words of Brian Windhorst, you got to attach a 1st-round pick to dump that contract. No problem. I don't think DeMar's contract is something that people are frightened from. I think
agree.
it's the fit of what he is, what they're frightened from. Now, Josh, if you're talking about Zach LaVine, I do think people are frightened from the contract and that, and you're spot on in the form of you're probably going to have to attach a 1st-round pick, maybe even 2.
Appreciate the call, Josh. Yeah, appreciate it. And here's the thing, though, Jay. I don't think Memphis is looking to blow it up.
I don't either.
You sent me to Ja Morant's tweet.
Yeah.
I got it right here. And I'm going to be in that 901. Source, me. 901 is Memphis.
Yeah, area code.
He ain't going nowhere.
Nah.
He ain't going nowhere.
And I'll be honest, KCP didn't work in Orlando.
Right.
Didn't for whatever reason, he didn't have a good year in Orlando. But KCP ain't the bottom of the scrap heap.
Right.
He's just a year or 2 or a couple years removed from being an integral part of Denver's championship run. He went and got his bag, though.
Yeah.
And maybe he got a little comfortable. Maybe Orlando didn't work out. Maybe because Paolo was injured and Franz was injured. Whatever the case may be, the year just didn't flourish the way he did. I don't see KCP not being able to, contribute. Now, he may not be the old KCP of Denver. That's yet to be seen. But I think that's a flyer worth taking if you're Memphis to change it. Also including the fact that you got four 1st-round draft picks.
Right. Here's the thing with KCP, and I agree with you, Jay. Maybe the fit wasn't there in Orlando because when when he's playing in Denver, he's playing with Jokic. Playing in LA, playing with LeBron.
Yeah, playing off guys.
No offense to Paolo and Franz. They don't create the same opening and good looks as those guys.
You ain't lying.
You know who does? John Morant.
John Morant.
You got Jai getting downhill.
Yeah.
Everybody like flies on you know what. And so you might be right. He might have a resurgent season there in Memphis.
How old is KCP?
Now, what are he, 32, 30, 31? He up there, though. He been around for
32.
a long time. 32. There you go.
Man, you up there, man. When you're 32, you up there?
You up there
You OG?
nowadays, dog. You up there. Shout out to KCP. He got his bag. He's 32. And I actually think him and John Morant, that's a nice little backcourt, actually, if he's knocking down shots like he did a couple of years ago in Denver. In Denver, his last season in Denver, he shot 40.6% from three.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. That's because he was getting good looks. This last year in Orlando, 34.2. The looks ain't the same when you ain't playing with Jokic out there. So to our last caller's point, I don't think Memphis is looking to blow it up like that.
I don't think so. But I do think, and this, I will say this, Drapes, and you know this. Everyone is off the trade market until you call and offer
Right.
4 first-round draft picks.
Right. They might not even
Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
You know, and
They
Devin
might
Carter.
not even been on the block.
Yeah, nah, yeah. Everyone's going to sit there and listen. If it's going to take that, then so be it. If Scott Perry goes that way, then we'll have to react to it. I'm not sure Scott he seems to be a little more measured than the type of person that's going to pick up the phone and call Memphis to say, I got four first round draft picks and Devin Carter and whoever.
Yeah.
Trey Lyles for Jaren Jackson Jr. That's a lot.
That's
man.
a lot.
That is a lot to give up, especially when you are in trying to figure out mode. That's what I call it right now. I don't know what the Kings are trying to do. I think they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think they're, as you said earlier, they're assessing. Scott Perry is assessing the situation. And I hadn't really bitten down on this, but looking at the pictures today that dropped out, Coach Musselman tweeting out DeMar, Zach, Mason Jones, Coach Christie down, USA getting it in LA. You might be right. It's tough for me to say that. But you might be right. They might be running this back. They might be running this back, Drapes. And working around the edges.
Right.
Whew.
If I was a betting man, that's what I would see happening. Because I don't know. You make all these moves at the deadline. You bring in all these other players and everything, and hopefully we re-sign Jake. I think re-signing Jake would be huge for us. But people already say, oh, it didn't work or anything like that. And I'm like, well, was it because of the roster? Was it because of the turnover? Was it because not enough time? Was it because of injuries? Remember, we did beat Cleveland twice. Handled them.
Okay.
We had some wins, is what I'm saying.
We did.
We had some losses.
We did.
Losing at Washington.
We did, right.
And so that's why I think those point guards that I've been talking about, Jay, not only helps you in the stat sheet, but in your locker room, in your culture, the CP3s, the smarts, so that when things start getting sideways, you just don't let that keep sliding. Marcus Smart snap you back in. Yo, no, lock in, guys. He's in the huddle. He's on the floor taking a charge, diving for a loose ball, coming up with the steal. That's why I think the stopgap veteran is not the worst thing to do if you're Sacramento. You won 40 games. with a topsy-turvy coaching staff, topsy-turvy front office, topsy-turvy roster, and you won 40 games. I'm not saying you're a championship contender, Kings fans, but we sure as hell with a starting caliber point guard should be better than 40 wins. How many people have we had on our show talk about how much talent the Sacramento Kings have? Eddie Johnson, our boy, who sees the Phoenix Suns up close and personal every day. And so why not give that talent, I'm not saying it's a championship, but why not give that team a chance to show what they really can do? Now, if somebody come making you some Godfather offers for players or an offer comes out, okay. But I'm not just ripping it down to the studs just because of what I saw this past season. This team could be better than that. They could be better than 40 and 42. All right, coming up next, Infinity Sports Radio. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I'll be joined by the high flyer and my guy Jay Johnson as well. You've been listening to the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the